want the taxpayer to bail you out of your student loans. Although technically Gen X has more student loan debt. To be fair, I want my email less cluttered. That's what this morning has been. It has been paying bills, trying to log online to create an account for the gas bill company, which you can't do because they're in a trailer park in South Dakota. I'm gonna go get donuts if the donut shop is open. I'm gonna go hike in one of my favorite places to hike because we got a ton of rain yesterday, and so now there are probably waterfalls. But the Christmas gift unto me is to clean out my email. So we're gonna start with the story of Stu. Um, yes, I am the one whom banged the good neighbor. It started off one night when I was working on a car. I'm going to try and anonymize this. As we all know, seized up rotors makes you yell and cuss at the car consistently. Being that it was in the middle of a hot summer, about 170 degrees outside, the neighbor lady walked over and asked if I needed some cold drink of gin and pineapple. this sounds like a well-written book. The precision. Of course, I accepted. She sat and watched as I got that bitch of a rotor to come loose. Well, after I took a shower, one thing led to another. We ended up going to my house. The next day, she showed up with a huge plate of food. I gladly accept. See, that's how they get you, man. That's how they get you, Stu. They go in through your stomach. You know, like in Star Wars, they went through the exhaust port. Women, they go through your stomach. Shit, the food and the drink alone would sell me. I'd be like, well, yeah. And you know what's sad is that a lot, Shark and other ladies, it's so simple what men want. Like, why can't you girls just do this simple thing? They know what you want. It's not a secret. They're choosing not to. You think it's that hard to figure out? You know what? I bet on a hot degree day, this guy would like an alcoholic, cold, fruity drink. And I bet you he'd like some food afterwards. They know what you men want. They just don't want to give it up. That's how simple it is. Well, you get it. Let me ask you. It's 2025, coming to year end. Did a girl give you what you wanted? I'm not saying, what you wanted, but, like, did a girl get you a cup of good coffee? Did a girl bake you a thing of cookies? No! I bet you she didn't. Oh. We went back in the house again. Then she started coming over day after day after I got off of work. As of she was looking through her blinds to see if I was home. Problem was, I had other women I was dealing with. So whenever it was 10 p.m. on a Saturday night, she would call and ask me where I was at. I would respond, "Why does it matter? You were at your house. I'm busy." Oh, you dared to hold boundaries, dude. No wonder, man. You're kind of like a polished, refined T-Rash. You're a gentleman T-Rash. You need to keep her away. Then she would send me paragraphs telling me how she hated her husband and wants to be with me. That's when I slowly started distancing myself from her. But it was tough because she lived 3 blocks down from the street. One night I go and pick up another girl from a different part of town. It's 12 a.m. We get back to my house. I'm assuming everyone is asleep. That's when I woke up to my car tires being slashed. You are my new hero, sir. I think she meant to need to my day because I own 2 type of cars that don't have to be mentioned. She just took a shot in the tire because both cars look identical unless you rode inside both vehicles. I didn't want to move on, so decided to tell her man what was going on. Is initially was mad at me, but when I told him that we can box, I'm not going anywhere. Check you, bitch. He calmed down. Weeks went by, and I ignored her as much as I could. It would be times she would walk by my house as extremely small shorts and low-cut shirts. I definitely insulted a couple of times. They eventually moved away for reasons I don't know. Fast forward 2 years, my business is really taking off. Plus the fact I also did mechanical on the side. So I always had large amounts of cash in different increments. This attracted 2 girls. One was a 32-year-old, I don't want to identify. One was a 32-year-old lady of a particular ethnicity doing particular ethnicity careers associated with that ethnicity. The other was another gal, a 34-year-old lady who worked in sales. For 4 months, both ladies would consistently hang out with me. Dude, what do you look like? I remember seeing a picture of you, and you look, I'm not gay, not trying to slam on you. I'm like, oh, it's a normal dude. It's a normal dude. I mean, if you're wrenching on cars, you got obviously got good forearms. You got 6-pack abs. What's going on? For 4 months, both ladies would consistently hang out with me, and we could do our thing. I bet you that the reason why girls are attracted is you probably chill. You're not looking to shack up. You're like, yeah, come over, hang out. I got to work on this car. I think they like that. Both of them, we do our thing. One day, girl number 2 asked if where one could get an illegal, illicit substance. I told her that I didn't. About a week later, she asked if I could buy her a bottle of Remy. I said I got some Remy for me, but not for both of us without her putting in on it. That's when she disappeared. Oh, man! You're a veteran. You knew. You just knew. God, it's fucking Neo dodging bullets. A couple of weeks later, girl number 2 asked if I was going to share illegal substances with her. When I told her that I only indulge in alcohol and nothing else, she too asked if I could buy her a bottle of Grey Goose. After I told her no, she stopped responding as well. Wow, it is so pronounced. So you got these women are in their 30s, and they're asking full-grown adult men to buy them bottles of booze. The world of drugs. I understand why drug dealers get laid, because you girls want that more than you want anything else. And if the guy can give that to you for free, you'll do anything for it. You will. And if not that, then it's like, oh, buy me booze. There's this whole culture, man. I'm not that I never ran into it. Girls have asked me for money, but it was really more the other extreme. I don't need no man if you think I'm... Oh, God. I'll take the gal asking for booze, etc. That's when she tells me she always thought I was... Oh, wait. I skipped ahead. The week before the 4th of July, girl number 1 calls me and says her car isn't working. I tell her it could be a multitude of things. You list them here, etc. Then when she tells me that she's always thought I was great and that she loves men who could work on cars... So I tell her that I'm go over to her place and meet at her place at the car for her. I basically get to the place, talk my way in with stupid small talk, drink a little bit with her. Then I do what I need to do in her private sector. I'd even look at the car. 2 days later, she asks if she can move in and start saying how much she loves that I know how to be handy and how her rent is too much to maintain on her own. That's when I blocked her. God damn, man. This is the valiant story of Stu the Great. That is awesome. I'm glad that you are holding the line. I'm glad. Well, the story is also very blunt. They just want your money and your resources. Ladies, you could have had this. You could have had all this. You just had to not be sleeping around and being a single mom. You could have been nice. You could have doted on the guy. You could have not been a pain in the ass. Now, admittedly, not every guy's like Stu. I'll grant you that. A lot of guys are out of shape. A lot of guys are fat. A lot of guys don't have real skills like Stu's got. Nor the discipline to actually lead like a man and use the word no. That's great, man. This is gonna go in the book. I think this goes in the book. Put that there. All right. This is from The Dude, titled Steam Deck for Gaming and Linux PSA. Aaron, congratulations on accepting Linux as your Lord and Savior. I've been using Linux for years and agree it's an amazing system that prolongs the life of tech instead of nagging people to death or spying on them. Thank you also for covering Richard Stallman back in high school. I forgot who Stallman was. Honestly, I always thought Stallman did more for computing freedom. No. And ownership of our devices than Jobs or Gates ever did. Now getting to the point, I recently bought a Steam Deck and I've really enjoyed it. It's surprisingly versatile. Handheld or TV mode, you can use it like a handheld by default or hook it up to a controller and play on your TV. Desktop mode, switch over and run a full Linux desktop. Download ROMs or install free/open software from the Steam store. What's his name? Atham. He built a dedicated Linux gaming computer. It works really well. Of course, not all video games work really well. Steam Store Plus flexibility. Still get access to all the Steam titles. When you're not locked in, you can go both ways. Storage freedom, and has an SD card slot for removable storage. No need for a giant, expensive hard drive. That Xbox 360, that's when it started. When I had to buy a separate hard drive for it, I'm like, this is bullshit. Why is there a why is it not on the disc? I haven't owned a gaming console since the PS2, but the Steam Deck feels future-proof, efficient, and honestly just fun. It doesn't nag you with forced updates or pointless BS, which is refreshing. If you don't already have one, I'd seriously recommend it. Maybe even hint to your girlfriend to get you one for Christmas. Hey, it's Christmas. The LCD models are being clearanced out, and they're more than sufficient for most uses. In my view, it's one of the most optimal, enjoyable devices you can own for gaming, especially for someone already embracing Linux. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Go here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to copy this, and now I'm going to email each and every one of you as I go through them, so you know I did the thing. I answered your question. Read your email on the podcast. Let me email Stu. Really? We're not gonna do it. Here we go. Finally got around to reading this. Merry Christmas. Boom. Man, I'm gonna be able to clear out that inbox. How nice is that? Okay, I gotta scroll down. Steam Deck for gaming. I emailed him. Delete that. Oh, come on, computer, just do it. This is from Yash. Yash writes, congrats on finally shifting to Linux. Your assessment of Linux being the hot, thin wife and Windows being the fat, feminist wife with colored hair is accurate. I am sort of forced to use Windows due to a hardware and driver compatibility issues for GPUs, but I use Linux and a virtual machine for my work. As per your videos, you said you use Google Docs and just their alternatives to Microsoft 365 bullshit. Personally, I have free access to Microsoft products from my university mail, but still refuse to use them, as it is only through web apps, which are very finicky. I got so frustrated that I uninstalled Office on my laptop and installed Office Libre instead. However, the interface was crap and buggy, which I used for months. I strongly recommend checking out WPS WPS Office. I'm using Office Libre to write the books I have now. It is a little buggy, which I used for months. I strongly recommend checking out WP Office. I installed this week and it has made my life easy. Instead of Google, some Chinese company spies on me. It's Chinese. Oh, so there's no winning. If your beliefs are not like Richard Stallman's, you can easily find software that is paid for closed source that has a Linux version for the most part. Past what have I been doing Linux for? 3 months now? I've found all the software I need. All the software I need. The closed source stuff is more stable and easy use for normies and end users who are not good with tech, as corporations have a financial incentive to pay for development, while open source stuff may not always be as stable as the maintainers may just abandon the project. For people complaining about how software is Windows specific, not working with wine or any emulators, a viable option that you have not discussed yet is that they can spin up Windows Virtual Machine if Linux is their host operating system. Just note that the virtual machines may have limited access to underlying hardware. See it. Everyone needs to understand normies. When I was looking up things, Linux users tend to skew to the right of the Bell distribution curve on intelligence and computer knowledge. All you got to do is command prompt it. Guys, the reason Linux stands a shot now is because normies can use it. Some of the solutions, I'm like, whoa, what? Opening up a virtual machine, in your mind, it might be easy. For normies' minds, it's not. Now, normies can do it. They can look up, how do I open up a virtual machine on Linux? But a lot of the solutions, especially on Reddit, well, you stupid idiot, all you gotta do is this, and it's this 8-page thing. It's like, look, dude, I have sex. You obviously don't. I don't have time to figure that out. So, yeah, most people are not going to know how to open up a virtual, let alone what a virtual machine is. Also, as a rule of thumb, always allocate less than half of the available RAM to a virtual machine, i.e., how do people know how to allocate RAM? See what I'm saying? If your system has 60 meg of RAM, the virtual machine must have less than 8 gigabytes. Thanks again for all the work you do. I've been watching for over 5 years, and your videos have helped me move on from a bad mental headspace. Good, man. That's great. Apologies if I made any mistakes. No. English isn't my first language, as I'm from a different country, let's just say. Well, thank you, man. No, your English is just fine. Just fine. Let me respond to you. Yeah. Hey, Ash, finally got around to reading your email on my show. Here's the link, and Merry Christmas. All right, we got that one. Gotta wait for it to send, because Microsoft is very finicky. This is from Mark. Hey, Cappy, thanks for your video about Trader Joe's. As I do not wish to gain the reputation of being a white girl, I've continued to do work there while preparing for my second tax season this upcoming year. Do both. I had a comment or two that might further interest your economist side. As you notice, Trader Joe's locations are small, and the back room is almost always much more constrained than the sales floor. There is little to no inventory on hand at any time. That's why the prices are cheap, man. I hated Trader Joe's originally because I went to a Minnesota Trader Joe's. It is not Trader Joe's or even the people who work at Trader Joe's. It is the Minnesota clientele that would go to a Trader Joe's or a Telluride or some other pretentious asshole community. If you look at Trader Joe's and the people who work at Trader Joe's, it is one of the best run companies out there. I'm equally impressed as Costco. A friend of mine got me into Costco. And I'm like, okay, this isn't my cup of tea, but I'm very impressed. Very impressed. This enables the company to pay much less for its real estate than its competitors, which directly enables its low prices. However, in addition to being high energy and personable, the crew must be capable of ordering the exact correct amount of product for each delivery, as there is no buffer. The high energy and efficiency of crew is also required due to the fact that the company operates at a sales per person hour of almost 300, which is several times the industry standard. How dare somebody think differently to do so? God bless Trader Joe's. Good for you guys. You thought about it differently. The crew must be able to sustain that output. One way this is accomplished is that everybody changes tasks every hour. There are not cashiers and beggars and stockers. Everybody performs all those roles each day. This reduces fatigue, boredom, etc., and usually gives some measure of feeling of a new beginning each hour. Well, it also skills you up so that if somebody goes down, you can swap out. That's great, man. However, this is about as chaotic as it sounds, and it is almost also necessary to be able to quickly transition and pick up right where somebody left off. And it is also necessary that the crew, for the most part, does this without being kicked in the ass by some manager due to how often roles change. These efficiencies do... I will say when I go to Trader Joe's, I know you guys are forced to make small talk. I can tell. Because, like, ain't nobody naturally that nice. So what do you got planned today? You were told to say that. Bless you. These efficiencies do allow the crew to be well compensated. The wages are high for the job type, and in addition to full health and retirement benefits are available if you work a little over 30 hours a week during each 6-month measurement period. As you might expect from your observations about the clientele, the job can also be a gold mine for material for a misanthrope. If you work there for a few weeks, you would immediately be able to publish your long-awaited 4-volume series entitled Boomers Blocking Aisles. These people have a complete mastery of geometry with no protractor. They're able to angle their carts exactly 45 degrees to achieve maximum blockage in all directions. Also usually present is 180 Katie, who manages to convince herself that she really wants to be going the other way 3 or 4 times. 180 Katie? 3 or 4 times in the space of 30 seconds. At the busiest of Trader Joe's locations, they actually have enforced directions of travel within the store, and some crew are dedicated to manage lines inside the store. I deeply hope our store never reaches that level of business. Yeah, I see it, man. Because I do go to Trader Joe's. I like Trader Joe's. But your aisles are not as big as Walmart or a regular grocery store. That's true. And that is probably the most annoying thing, is I get there and no one knows. Like, not the staff. The customers. Just, I want a very few select things. I want the Reed's Zero Sugar Ginger Beer. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I love your non-alcoholic champagne. It's amazing. I'll buy that shit out all day. And by the way, for the alcoholic, they got really good cheap deals on booze. And it's good booze, too. But yeah, you gotta... It's not cats. Cats are much more controlled and cool and reserved. They're ferrets. Ferrets on... Fentanyl ferrets. I think that's the best way to describe the shoppers at Trader Joe's. No matter where you go. No matter where you go. As for Reed's Ginger Beer, look for Trader Joe's bottled Sicilian lemon juice and add that to taste. Also, let me know if you are a chocoholic. There is a can't-miss item coming along for the holidays. Oh, maybe I'll go check it out. Yeah, let's do that. Well, I'll respond to you. Mark your email on the podcast. Merry Christmas. What is the chocolate bar special? There we go. Yeah, that was like almost 3 months ago. Okay, we can delete that one. Delete that. Getting laid while living at home video. This is from Anonymous. Figured this would be a useful agent in the field corroboration for you because you nailed it. I didn't want to disclose this publicly, but it may be something useful you can recommend to future consultations. I actually deliberately choose to live where I cannot bring girls home. My landlord is a devout Christian and is literally written no opposite sex in the rental contract. This is a brilliant idea, by the way. Ensures my roommates also don't have them over too, which means it's always peaceful at night for sleep. 10 out of 10 would recommend for a bachelor, especially if you live in a very expensive housing location like I do. Despite literally telling them I cannot take them home, I get girls regardless because, as you've said, I put my work in at the gym. I had enough neutrons coming off the plutonium, as it were. Love the reference you make, by the way. Criticality is the perfect metaphor. Yeah, you achieve critical mass. You were able to be hot enough. Girls did the work for you. Which, by the way, I go into great detail on an entire chapter dedicated to our good friend and fellow tuner inner, T-Rash. T-Rash got his own chapter in the upcoming book, I Don't Want a Threesome with Jesus. Yes, that's the title. They invite me to stay the night at their place. I think there might be some reverse psychology in play, but it really does just boil down to once you get hot enough, they will make the first move. Yes, the skids have been greased, but I also think, like, yeah, they don't allow girls. I rent that place, and there's no women allowed because they're very Christian. You could lie about that. Like our friend who did the ankle bracelet game. He did criminal game. I think that absolutely is like, yeah, no, man, they don't let women over. Well, okay, fine. Oh, all right. I think they just need a toy to play with, and they're so sick and tired of having the exact same toy thrown on at them by every other guy. You want to get dinner? Yeah, I can't go out. Like, well, that's different. That's something I can play with. Now I'll have sex with you. Okay. I was having to brush them off on Halloween down in the town. I dressed up as a sexy guy. You chose the right Halloween costume to show off your body. A cute gal gave me an added thing for my costume, and I end up literally carrying her. And oh my God, if you can pull it off, girls love this. Would recommend guys training to learn how to do it. Looks so effortless. What, to carry a girl? I mean, unless she's like super heavy, it's not that hard. Shit, I carried my girlfriend across 2 rivers because she was like, I don't want to get my feet wet. Oh my God. I just grabbed her, threw her over my back, and just hauled off. I was like, you're not ruining this hike for me. You're going to shut the fuck up. Be interesting or shut the fuck up. There, that's what it is. Be interesting or shut the fuck up. There's no instance where you should be uninteresting. Be interesting or be quiet. There is no be uninteresting and be boring. Conversation can't all be interesting. Yes, it can. Watch. It damn well better be. A mile back up the hill from the bars to her place and staying the night. I got pictures of proof. If anything, the ROI in the gym is far, far higher than you said it was. Go to the gym. Do not go to college. I mean, unless you want to get a career, then you go to college or trade school or whatever. But if you want to get the girls, you go to the gym. You do not go to college. Not bad. Not a bad respite from 40 days of work of no pay. And we'll keep you anonymous because I don't want to identify you. All right, gonna... Merry Christmas. By the way, I hope your other career, because he's a client, I hope your other career is going well there, sir. All right. He's an interesting cat. He has a real career and profession, but he's just completely jacked. This is from, did you want to be kept known? From one of our regulars. Hi, Aaron. Short answer, who keeps lending private equity money? I spout that off onto the interweb. They said, who the fuck keeps lending private equity company money? Because understand, real men use their own money. They have equity. Pussies borrow money. Okay, I'm going to say that again for everyone out there. Real men have their own money. Pussies borrow others to go gamble with it. And private equity is a bunch of pussies because they never use their own money. Never. And whereas at one point in time, private equity did make money, now they don't. I think it's a 70% total loss rate. So I asked, who the fuck keeps lending private equity money? Hi, Aaron. Short answer is boomers. I recently sat down with a portfolio manager whose company offered a diversified investment portfolio that was weighted with a number of ETFs, such as index funds, bonds, REITs, etc. That is geared towards wealthy pensioners, minimum investment $500,000. There was also a fairly high-weighted selection of private equity firms, 20 to 25% packaged together to look like mutual funds. However, the funds were owned and managed by the company that was selling the funds. So that company, a mutual fund company, created a publicly traded mutual fund that was composed of 25% private equity. I'm not against that. You know, people want to invest in that higher. Sure, okay, that's fine. It's a way to invest in private equity without having to get permission from them. However, the funds were owned and managed by the company that was selling the fund. His argument was they could offer a lot greater diversification. Yes, diversification, but higher profits by investing in a slathering of privately owned companies. His second argument was this was necessary due to the prolonged low bond yields, and fund managers are desperate to find more yield with less volatility. And since private equity is not publicly traded, the typical market swings keep the prices more stable. Okay, so since private equity is not publicly traded, its stock price doesn't change day to day because there's no stock out there to reflect that price. And therefore, it's less. It is, choose our words carefully, it is more stable. It is not less risky. So what's interesting is when they go into risk analysis, and because you could price a private company, and I'm sure they do valuations from time to time, but since price data is not existent, essentially, certainly not continuously, that fools people into thinking it's less risky. And so if you're a pure analyst and you look at numbers, you don't know what underlying goes behind those numbers. Old time, they taught, wow, really? Is that what it is? Oh my God. I don't know to what percentage of private equity money invested is through funds like this, but I would guess it's a significant amount of the passive investors. Thought you might find that interesting. Best, Darren. Yes, I do find that very interesting. And that would make sense. Maybe it doesn't explain all the money that's being thrown into private equity. I know a lot of large banks and investment funds and hedge funds will go and lend money to private equity. But that is very interesting where they mix it in with funds. Now it's a publicly traded fund, and now part of your portfolio can be private equity, but it is, unless you are aware how prices work versus privately traded companies or held companies, you would think it's low. And the analysts don't buy. What the fuck do the analysts care? They just want to make their sales. You're right. Let's lend money to private equity. See, they think they're investing, like taking an equity position. When you not knowing that the mutual fund is essentially a bond fund because it's a bond. You're technically lending. You're not buying equity in a bond fund. You are lending money to a mutual fund management company that lends it to other people. These other people happen to be private equity. Wow. So now we all got to look at our investment prospectuses and make sure that there's no fucking private equity in the total portfolio of mutual funds. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Darren. Okay. Yash emailed back. He says, yeah, I was tuning in since the beginning. Cool. Good to have you aboard, Yash. All right. Woo, look at how clean this is getting. Getting all cleaned out. I'm going to do that later. You know what? I'm gonna do a video on this later. I'm gonna do a video on that later. Reen, our good friend Reen. Hey, look, Cappy. Cappy's a prophet again. My niece will have your books in a decade. And this is Clownfish TV. What did Clownfish do? I listen to Clownfish all the time. Just bear with me. I'm playing the video. You guys can't see it because I'm not sharing it. So just so you guys know, I'll watch it later. I'll watch it later. But thanks, Reen. I appreciate it. But basically, they're saying corporations aren't shitifying, and the only thing they know how to do is make products worse to save money, not make them better. We've gone beyond the ability. Corporate management has been optimized, and now you are going beyond optimal corporate management. All you know how to do is cannibalize what you have. That's it. That's fine. That's fine. I hope the corporations do that. This is from Sam, all the way back at Thanksgiving. He says, Happy Thanksgiving. You see how far back I am? Hi, Aaron. Today I wanted to pop in and say thank you for Asshole Consulting. I know you probably get that from a lot of your customers, but in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I want to let you know that I'm thankful for you and Asshole Consulting. Thank you for being the older brother, honorary uncle figure that us viewers never knew we needed. No problem, man. I can't say, oh, I did it for you guys. Like, no, I was so pissed off and angry. Little did I know I'd like hit the magazine of a battleship with my torpedoes and it would explode because everybody from the 1960s till basically now, or maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, everyone was lying to you. All the parents were lying to you. All the adults were lying to you. And not maliciously, they're just giving you the wrong information. And now the internet has come along, and now we're just saying, no, fat chicks aren't hot. No, you shouldn't be a slave to Somali immigrants, Minnesota. But, you know, if you get off on that shit, which you do. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't be a slave to anyone. Right? But immigrants, I know your public school teacher said current popular thing. That does not excuse parasitism or slavery or theft. But if you feel good about being robbed because your teachers told you to, you can move to Minnesota. People will love to have hardworking, dopey people go there and slave away and pay taxes. I'm just pointing it out. That's it. That's all I'm doing is pointing it out. Because I, too, was lied to about a tremendous amount of things. And if anything, it's like, no, I want the evil people to never be able to lie to young people again. I want the young people to be nowhere near as confused and fucked up as we were. I'll stop by again for request advice and a clarity test sometime in the future. That being said, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving and looking forward to your future videos. Have an amazing day. Your good buddy, Sam. Well, thanks, Sam. Let's send this here. Hey, Sam, read your email on the podcast today. Control V, because you can't do right-click paste on Microsoft Outlook, because fuck you, Microsoft. There we go. The evil never ends, does it? There will always be somebody trying to fuck somebody else over, and I'll just be here to point it out. Like, yeah, you're trying to fuck that person over. Where'd it go? That. Oh, shit, that's coming up. Okay. Parker Franklin, by the way, today's podcast brought to you by ParkerFranklinEA.com. Go to ParkerFranklinEA.com and prepare. Get your tax accountant now. Do not wait until April 10th, 5 days before taxes are due, to find a tax accountant. They're like hot chicks that cook. Oh, God. Where's my pen? Why do I never have pens here? Tax accountants, like hot chicks who can cook. They are scooped up early. There we go. Good tax accountants are like hot chicks that can cook. They're scooped up early. They're married off. And then you come in there late to the game like some 33-year-old Epiphany stage Karen. Where's my man? Don't be an Epiphany stage Karen. Looking for your 6'6", and with your prepackaged, homemade, pre-made family with the 3 crotch fruit from 3 different men. Don't be that person. Not in your taxes. Contact Parker Franklin now. Go to parkerfranklinea.com and get him to take you on as a client now, so you don't have to worry about your taxes later. I'm gonna give you another shout out here. Now I got to figure out what the minute mark is. Oh no, that's not it. Where are we at? The 41-minute mark. 41-minute mark. I'm gonna have my donut today. I'll keep that there. That's it. That's it. Oh. See, thanks, I've been watching it. Stay away from WPS Office. Okay, so now he did try WPS, the guy who's talking about the Steam Deck. Stay away from WPS Office. I've heard a lot of horror stories about the spyware on that. LibreOffice is what I personally use. It's not 100% perfect, but it's more secure and can do 90% of what you need. The dude. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yash says, thanks, Cappy. Watching from the start. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. You too, Yash. All right, there we go. Clean that out. Clean that out. Oh, we're all cleaned out. We all done. Let's go to the super chats very quickly. Ass Bucket, $2. Comments got turned off for your last video. Really? See, YouTube will do that for some reason, man. I don't know why. I'm not kidding. I really... It's that tedium where I got to go get... by the way, everyone, I'm switching to Podbean. So if you subscribe through SoundCloud or whatever, or you subscribe through one of the subscription services, you may have to resubscribe to my new podcast channel. But it's that shit where I was like, God, no, I got to set this up again. And it's YouTube like, we're not allowing comments on that. Why? What? Why? Is everyone a child? Can no one take criticism? I don't even know what the title was. We can't have comments on this. Why can't you? A lot of them have been innocuous. What? I don't care. I just want to go overseas to a foreign nation where they don't speak English, so I don't have to listen to people's opinions. And just maybe be on a beach, not necessarily, but just a remote hut and be left alone. Ken says hi for $2. Hello, Ken. Ass Bucket, $2. Don't sleep on Aldi. They are super efficient too. Yes, but they also wouldn't hire white men. They did that whole woke thing a couple years back. Aldi is very cheap as well. Elon Musk's filthy jockstrap, $2. Die Hard is basically my Tuesday, but with more money. Die Hard is awesome. It is the best Christmas movie ever. Mason, is Rocky IV Christmas movie? Trago, I don't know. It's been ages since I saw it. Did it happen during Christmas? I'll tell you the truth. Is it a Christmas movie? Do you want it to be a Christmas movie? Then it's a Christmas movie. Like Die Hard? Yeah, I think it's a Christmas movie. Lethal Weapon? Yeah, I wouldn't consider that a Christmas movie. It takes place on Christmas, but not really. Elon Musk's filthy jockstrap, $5. I recently paid a Raider Joe's parking lot lady of the night for a date. Turns out it was Femboy Fantasia. It was Femboy Fantasia. No regrets except for the itching today. You got him, man. You got him. Elon Musk's filthy jockstrap, $5. Dre wrote to me and said he would only watch Die Hard if Greta was freed. Burn every copy is the only answer, unfortunately. So is Greta under arrest? It'd be too bad if she was. No, she's been arrested multiple times. Greta Thunberg released from custody after arrest in UK pro-Palestine thing. Okay, she was under arrest, but that's what they do. That's what. Oh God, I'm so happy that she lives her life the way she does. She's so miserable. Like, we got our own family here on Cappy Christmas. We're gonna do our own thing. Like, nobody except her parents, who are equally demented and deranged. Nobody gives a shit about her. Not really. Everyone just gloms onto her for the press. And all of your friends, like, if you're a bunch of wackadoo environmentalist friends, let's just be clear. You environmentalists don't care about the environment. You just want to be crusaders. You want to be virtue signalers, which means you're lazy, which means you don't work, which means you're parasitic. And that bleeds into all aspects of your life, including your friendships, which you don't have any because you're all trying to glom on to popularity. And, oh, no, I'm a better socialist than you. I'm a better environmentalist. Oh, my God, I so care about. It's a life of hell. You girls could wear a naughty girl, Santa outfit, be, in shape and have fun with your husbands. You could have that. You could have children too. But no, it takes work. Elon Musk's filthy jockstrap, $5. Dear Cappy, I have a fully funded 401k and a real Bugatti. I am 5'1", 128-pound Asian woman with a DDS in dentistry. We're all the good men. That actually would be a catch. Like, if you're young and good looking, yeah. A gal with her own money and she's a dentist? Yeah, that's... There you go. You can find it. Elon again for $2. I'm going to keep paying you until I get tired. Well, don't, because I'm ending it here. Because I got to get a donut and go hiking. Anyway, you all have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for all the emails. And link below is not... Maybe Zero World Problems is link below. Go buy that. Get your life together. Enjoy the standard of living of a clean email inbox. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.
The Duel of Fates is one of the most iconic moments in Star Wars. It wasn't just the climax of The Phantom Menace, it was the moment that defined Obi-Wan Kenobi's life, the return of the Sith to the galaxy, and the birth of a rivalry that would span decades. On Naboo, a single Padawan faced off against a Sith Lord raised since birth to destroy Jedi, and the impossible actually happened. Darth Maul, the apprentice to Sidious, slayer of Jedi Masters, the weapon forged in hatred, was defeated by Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was not even a Jedi Knight. The question has lingered ever since: how did a Padawan defeat a Sith Lord? The truth to this is layered. Obi-Wan did not outmatch Maul in strength, ferocity, or even skill. But through discipline, balance, and Maul's own arrogance, Obi-Wan seized a single moment and changed the course of the galaxy forever. To understand how Obi-Wan triumphed, we must begin with the fall of his master. Qui-Gon Jinn was no ordinary Jedi, a maverick, a seeker of the living force, and a warrior with decades of experience. Qui-Gon entered the duel with Maul confident. His chosen lightsaber form was a Taru, Form 4, the acrobatic style. It was fast, aggressive, reliant on fluid movement, precise, and above all, reliant on stamina. Ataru was designed to overwhelm an enemy with speed and agility, but it did have its weaknesses. Over time, it heavily taxed the user, and against an opponent like Maul who could sustain a relentless tempo, that weakness became a fatal one. Maul recognized it, trained since childhood as a weapon. Maul understood how to break an opponent piece by piece, and in the Theed hangar and through the corridors, Maul fought both Jedi at once. Using his double-bladed lightsaber to control distance and rhythm, he controlled the entirety of the duel. Where Qui-Gon pressed forward, Maul countered with ferocity. Where Obi-Wan darted with his youthful speed, Maul shoved him aside. The battle drove into the power generator complex, and there, Qui-Gon Jinn began to falter. Now separated from his Padawan, Qui-Gon's age, his reliance on bursts of Ataru's energy, this left key openings that Maul exploited. In a dirty trick, one that Darth Maul would later say he regretted using against a Jedi of Qui-Gon's caliber, he struck the Jedi Master in the face with his hilt, then impaled him through the midsection with his lightsaber, finally bringing the Jedi Master down. For Obi-Wan, watching his master fall was more than grief, it was a revelation. Obi-Wan saw the flaws of Ataru laid bare. He saw that offense could not withstand the fury of Maul. The lesson etched into him in blood would one day define the Jedi that he would become. When Qui-Gon Jinn fell, Obi-Wan's composure cracked. A surge of rage and grief overtook him. For most Jedi, this would mean disaster. For Anakin Skywalker, though, the dark side was a fountain of strength. Anger empowered him, made him stronger, faster, more relentless. But Obi-Wan was different from his future Padawan. Obi-Wan's nature was not to seek power, but to seek peace. He was a warrior who didn't like to fight, a pilot who didn't like to fly. He was a contemplative Jedi, one who would rather meditate on the Force than send soldiers to their deaths. For Obi-Wan, the dark side did not empower him, it weakened him. When he gave into his anger, his discipline unraveled. His strikes against Maul became wild, furious, and aggressive. And in that moment, he fought with a strength he had never displayed before. He pressed Maul hard enough to shear the Sith Lord's weapon in half, in fact. But this was not sustainable. The dark side gave him only a fleeting burst. Maul, who thrived in the storm of rage, easily redirected it against him. With a calculated sequence, Maul disarmed Obi-Wan, kicked him into the reactor pit, and left him dangling, humiliated, defeated, and moments from death. This is the truth of Obi-Wan Kenobi. The dark side did not call to him as it did others. It stripped him of balance, clarity, and his real strength. To win, he would need something else entirely. There in the pit, the duel should have ended. Obi-Wan clung to the edge, unarmed, his life seconds from ending. Above him, Maul paced like a predator, savoring this moment, savoring his prey. But why didn't Maul strike the final blow? What made him wait? The answer lies in who Maul really is. Raised by Sidious not to conquer, not to scheme, but to destroy. Maul's entire identity was bound to testing himself against Jedi. Unlike Darth Vader, who would one day slaughter Jedi from across the galaxy out of duty and out of hatred, Maul was leashed. Sidious did not unleash him to purge. He kept him hidden, waiting, restrained. For Maul, every chance to face a Jedi was a rare, precious moment to be savored. And so Maul developed a habit. He gloated, he lingered, he basked in the Jedi's fear. He wanted them to know that they had failed before he struck the final blow. This was more than arrogance. Deep down, Maul hated the Jedi because once as a child, he had hoped that one might come for him, that they would somehow save him from Sidious, but they never did. To Maul, every Jedi was a reminder of abandonment, of hypocrisy. of saviors who never saved him. And so every duel became personal. Every gloat was not just about dominance, it was about vengeance. This is why Maul delayed. He wanted Obi-Wan to suffer, to see the terror in the eyes, to know the Jedi was powerless. Dangling there in the pit, Obi-Wan did not give in to despair. He centered himself. He remembered what he had seen, Qui-Gon Jinn's fall, the exhaustion of Ataru, the way Maul's ferocity shredded aggression. He understood, even in that very moment, that pure offense would never triumph over such an enemy as a Sith. And there, the seed of destiny was planted. Obi-Wan realized the truth. Where Qui-Gon had pressed forward, he would endure. Where Maul fought with fury, he would fight with patience. This moment birthed Obi-Wan's path towards Form 3, Surisu. Surisu emphasized survival, efficiency, and the conservation of energy. It was the form of the Jedi who outlasted, who waited for the enemy to overextend, and who turned arrogance into their downfall. Obi-Wan Kenobi became a master at preying on arrogance, and his teacher here was not Qui-Gon Jinn, it was Maul, the man who would outlast Grievous, who would defeat Anakin Skywalker's fury on Mustafar, who would survive Lord Vader. He was born in this instant of clarity. And then, the final moment arrived. Obi-Wan sensed the opening, the flaw in Maul's arrogance. He summoned the Force, pulling Qui-Gon's lightsaber directly into his hand, and with a surge of clarity, he flipped from the pit in one smooth motion. Maul, caught unprepared, swung too late. Obi-Wan landed, struck, and cleaved the Sith Lord in two. It wasn't strength that won the duel. It wasn't fury or even skill. It was timing, clarity, and discipline. Obi-Wan had balanced himself, seized the moment, and turned Maul's arrogance into his defeat. So why did the Padawan defeat the Sith? Not because Obi-Wan was stronger, not because he was faster, but because he understood balance. Because where the dark side weakened him, the light steadied him. Because where Qui-Gon's aggression faltered, Obi-Wan adapted. And because of Maul's arrogance, rooted in his own tragedy, gave him this opening. This duel was not just Obi-Wan's first victory, it was the crucible that forged him into the Jedi that he would become. The greatest master of Surisu the Jedi Order had ever seen. He became the Jedi that endured, the Jedi who survived the rise and fall of the Galactic Empire. The duel on Naboo was not the end of Darth Maul though either. Cut in half, cast into the abyss, he survived. His body broken, his mind shattered, but hatred keeping him alive. The flame not put out. In that pit, Maul lost not only the battle, but the balance in his own life. The balance that he thought that he believed in. The tragedy of Maul is that he never learned. He never grew beyond the mistake that had undone him here. Time and time again, he fell to the same habits, gloating, prolonging the fight, savoring his enemy's fear rather than finishing them. He clung to rage, unable to let go, unable to forgive the galaxy, the Jedi, or himself. Where Obi-Wan found clarity, Maul only deepened his obsession. To Maul, Kenobi was not just the man who defeated him on Naboo, he was the thief of destiny. Obi-Wan became the symbol of everything Maul had lost. His victory, his place at Sidious's side, even his purpose. And so, Maul spent his life trying to undo that singular moment, never realizing that it was his own arrogance, not Obi-Wan's strength, that sealed his fate. He could never see the shortcomings of his master Sidious, nor the prison of the Sith path that he had chosen. He could never free himself from the need to dominate and to prove, and so he resigned himself to a life in service of the dark, forever repeating his same downfall. When he finally faced Obi-Wan on Tatooine decades later, nothing changed. Maul struck with fury, Obi-Wan countered with patience, and once again balance overcame arrogance. In the end, Maul died as he had lived, consumed by the same mistake that defined him on Naboo, that downfall. And that is the final truth of the Duel of Fates. It did not only forge Obi-Wan into the Jedi of balance, it revealed the flaw in Darth Maul that would haunt him forever. One man learned and endured, the other would never let go. We need to be clear though, when Obi-Wan struck down Maul on Naboo, it was not a triumph of sheer martial superiority. Obi-Wan did not overwhelm Maul through superior technique, speed, or power. Instead, he capitalized on a fleeting moment of arrogance, a flaw that haunted Maul his entire life. Obi-Wan's victory came not from being the greater warrior, but from being more centered in that single instant. Hanging on the edge of the reactor shaft, he found clarity where Maul lost his discipline. It's important to emphasize that at this point in time, Obi-Wan was not a greater duelist than his master Qui-Gon. In fact, Maul himself noted after their clash on Tatooine that Qui-Gon Jinn was the finest duelist that he had ever encountered. What impressed Maul so much was not simply Qui-Gon's blade work, but his composure, his ability to remain steady even under the punishing heat and shifting sands of Tatooine. Maul had expected to exploit that environment, only to find Qui-Gon unmoved by it. For all his relentless training, Maul respected Qui-Gon's poison battle, a recognition that makes it clear who truly stood above Obi-Wan at the time. The duel on Naboo was not defined by Maul's lack of skill. His technique was flawless, his movements as fluid and precise as any Sith assassin could have hoped to achieve. What undermined him was his arrogance, his tendency to prolong the fight and to savor domination rather than end it with finality, unlike Dooku, whose precision allowed him to close engagements with merciless efficiency, or Vader, whose crushing ferocity left little room for survival. All toyed with his prey. In doing so, he denied himself the very victories his training demanded. Obi-Wan did not outclass him in form or ferocity, but in that one heartbeat where discipline met overconfidence, and Obi-Wan seized the moment. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the climactic duel in The Phantom Menace, the Duel of Fates? What are your thoughts on this defining moment for Obi-Wan Kenobi, his decision to switch over to Form 3 Sarisu, and how many seem to misinterpret the duel as Darth Maul simply being outclassed, rather than the reality of the engagement? Anyway, my friends and fellow lore junkies, thank you so much for visiting the archives here today, and as always, may the Force be with you. General Grievous was one of the most notorious Jedi killers of his era. He was trained specifically by Dooku for this purpose, and he was extremely good at it. So good that he made it both a science and an art, beginning his own collection of lightsabers. His ideals were simply to eradicate all Jedi life in the galaxy, and in pursuit of that mission, it's possible that he has killed hundreds of them. But these were the Jedi of the Clone Wars era, a confused lot who were significantly held back in the Force. So what if we made Grievous pick on someone his own size? What would happen if we were to somehow jettison him back in time and have the droid general facing the Jedi of the Old Republic? Greetings, lore junkies, and welcome back to the archives. In today's holocron, we want to examine how well General Grievous would do if he were dropped in the middle of the Great Galactic War between the Old Republic and Vitiate's Sith Empire. We will examine his experience in this time, and his approach to warring with Jedi of the Old Republic. But chiefly, we want to know how well he could hold up against the Jedi of a more lethal era. So without further ado, let's begin. It's important to first talk about why Grievous was such a threat to the Jedi Order of the Clone Wars specifically. As it was revealed by Mace Windu and Yoda in Attack of the Clones, the Jedi's connection in the Force had been diminished. This in large part is due to the veil of the dark side that Sidious had used to blind their vision. They were unable to properly see into the future or discern the truth behind the war that they now faced. With the lack of insight came a lack of focus and of peace, which impaired their ability to tap into the Force. With this in mind, they were dying left and right during the Clone Wars, and rarely prevailed in actual lightsaber duels. But before the Clone Wars, the Jedi of the Republic Classic era found themselves struggling against opponents of real merit. For 1,000 years at this point, they had been enjoying a period of peace and prosperity in the Republic. The most dangerous foes a Jedi would face in this time were pirates, gangsters, or terrorists, and in extremely rare cases, fallen Jedi. The first real challenge came with the Yinchori Uprising in the year 33 BBY. Despite having won that conflict, many Jedi died, and it became a humiliation for the Jedi Order, as well as the Supreme Chancellor Valorum, which Palpatine had engineered it to be. Around this time, even non-Force wielders were able to pull one over on Jedi Masters. Even a council member like Yarel Poof, a master of esoteric abilities and of the Force, was taken out by a knife. It was in this environment that Grievous was introduced, a machine of pure death with a thirst for Jedi blood. He was engineered by San Hill to operate on a level of a Jedi Master, outclassing their strength and speed by a margin. He was so fast that he could dodge force pushes and blaster fire with ease, so powerful that he could crush armor and skulls, tear durasteel asunder, and endure the destructive force bellow of an Ithorian Jedi. Grievous was taught to master the art of fear, and inspire it within his Jedi prey to such a paralyzing degree that it severed their ability to touch the Force at all. And when Grievous finally struck, even the finest duelists could not stand up to him. But if strength and speed weren't enough, he typically overwhelmed his prey with his four limbs, all striking at various angles of attack. He could use his clawed feet to grab and throw his enemies while their blades were busy. Grievous destroyed Jedi with gleeful cruelty, and few of them could do anything to stop him. Even Jedi who did not fear Grievous struggled to actually defeat him. Kit Fisto was one of the only ones to defend against all four of his blades, and Fisto was still forced to retreat when Grievous called in backup. It took Obi-Wan Kenobi nearly 9 attempts to finally defeat Grievous. You see, while we often think of the Clone Wars Jedi as being excellent duelists, that was the exception rather than the rule. The truth of the matter is that very few of them actually engaged in saber-to-saber combat at all. This is why we talk about expert duelists in the Clone Wars as being such a big deal. These Jedi were training to fight multitudes of blaster-wielding foes. Like we said earlier, they went from pirates and terrorists to droid armies. Their focus was not on engaging someone like themselves in combat, but in surviving on the front lines of open battle. Forms such as Sarisu and Miman were prioritized for their defensive utility and their versatility. Their expectation was to regularly meet platoons of droids, not Sith, and not to meet Grievous. This is why so many of them fell to Dooku's Dark Acolytes who were trained in dueling, and this is why Grievous dominated in this era. So taking all that we know, let's assume that Grievous is, by some method, thrown several thousand years into the past. Maybe he interacted with a dangerous artifact, or a hyperspace accident occurred. Whatever happened though, Grievous is ripped out of the year 19 BBY and hurled into 3654 BBY, the year just before Darth Malgus' sacking of Coruscant. Once there, he would of course want to ally with the Sith, since those were his masters where he's from. Personally, we do believe that Vitiate's empire would have accepted the droid general, if nothing else than a morbid curiosity. As someone who claims to hate and kill Jedi as much as they do, they would give him a chance. However, the droid general would find it difficult to climb the ranks of a hyper-politicized Sith government. The Order of this time was incredibly xenophobic, and promoted largely based on one's political acumen, and so General Grievous would not be likely to find himself in a celebrated position, unless he found a good way to prove himself. But the sphere of technology would likely be the first to take to him, since this sphere is where they always were developing new cybernetics and weapons for their soldiers. Grievous was a revolutionary creation even in his own era, so the Sith would want to study his makeup and attempt to replicate it. Grievous would enjoy the Empire's liberal usage of superweapons as well. In his time, he was captain of the ship known as the Malevolence, a ship that contained the massive fleet-destroying ion cannon. Grievous had also committed many atrocities in the Clone Wars, especially in its final year. To inspire fear of the Republic, he scourged many core and inner rim worlds with fire, scorching their landscapes and killing off as much natural life as he could. Since his brain had been modified to increase his cruelty and rage receptors, he thought as the Sith do. So Vitiate's empire would enjoy his ruthlessness, and undoubtedly put him in charge of some kind of superweapon. From this point, it would not be long until the first Jedi took notice of Grievous. That is, of course, assuming Grievous doesn't find them first. However, when he does, he's going to find a very different kind of Jedi waiting for him. The Republic that the droid general finds himself facing is nothing like the one of his time. They were largely united under the single purpose of destroying the Sith threat, and the Jedi were the ones calling the shots in this era, not the Senate. Grievous would quickly learn that the Jedi of this day were the exact opposite of the Clone Wars counterpart. Due to them having been embroiled in a 30-year war with their ancient enemies, the Jedi are battle-hardened warriors rather than passive peacekeepers. Padawans were all given emergency training to make them into powerful champions of the light, and then rush to the front lines of the war. According to Star Wars The Old Republic Encyclopedia, few can match the raw power of a trained Jedi Knight in combat. These brave beings spend their entire lives mastering the Force, testing themselves against all manner of challenges and enemies. By the time they are ready to pass their final trials to become a Jedi Knight, young Padawans have already spent more time in battle than the average veteran soldier. This is the direct inverse of the coddled and sheltered upbringing given to the Clone Wars Padawans. We see the result of this kind of training in the young Satele Shan of this era. At just 18, Shan was holding her own against Darth Vindican. By this point, she had received training from the legendary Battlemaster Cal Sandarek, but they had still been taken by surprise by the arrival of Vitiate's Sith. And yet, these two Jedi held their own against two incredibly powerful Dark Lords. As the Great Galactic War progressed though, every knight was trained to fight Sith first and blaster enemies second. Dueling was a top priority since the Sith were the enemies that they needed to eliminate. Jedi Sentinels were at their most powerful in this era as well. The Sentinels were allowed to study the forbidden form of Form 7, and some were so adept at Force stealth that they could simply vanish from sight. Even Jedi Consulars were deadlier in this era, scholars and diplomats they may be, but they excelled in utilizing storms of telekinesis to dismantle groups of enemies. Some were powerful enough to conjure localized groundquakes with the Force even. The Old Republic Jedi also made a practice of wearing specialized armor. The Clone Wars Jedi did this for a while, but it was mostly to show their allegiance with the clones more than any form of practicality. The Old Republic armor, however, was meant to allow them to shrug off glancing blaster shots and reduce impact from Force explosions. This was all the while being perfectly segmented as to allow for freedom of movement. Some Jedi of the Old Republic even went as far as giving their armor cybernetic upgrades and implants to give them more strength and more stamina. The Sith of this era were not pulling their punches either. Almost every single month of the war, the Empire was unveiling newer and more dangerous experiments. If these Jedi were to encounter Grievous, their instinctual reaction would not be fear. Instead, we believe the Jedi would see nothing more than the Empire's next attempt at a superweapon. We believe that many Jedi of the Old Republic could match Grievous, if not outright exceed his skill with the lightsaber. They would be fast, nimble, and ready to accept the challenge. His forearms and his uncanny speed might throw a few of them for a loop, but in large, the Old Republic Jedi adapt quickly. We have to look directly at who the Clone Wars Jedi were fighting. Clone Wars Jedi were used to dueling assassins or commando droids. These were considered difficult enemies for this era. But the Old Republic Jedi needed to contend with Sith marauders and assassins that could enhance their speed with the Force. So Grievous, who was capable of blitzing Jedi, would find himself struggling to keep up with knights of this age. He would not last very long in 1v1 against Satele Shan or Ven Zalo, two duelists that gave Darth Malgus even a difficult time. Satele was able to outright overpower that monster with her raw Force powers, and Ven Zalo was one of the only Jedi Malgus actually respected purely based off of his skill. In the Old Republic novel, we learned that in order to take Zalo down, Malgus had to trick him by allowing Ven to elbow him in the face, granting the Sith an opening in Zalo's defenses. If either of these warriors faced down Grievous, they would utterly dismantle him. He could prove to be a sufficient challenge, but not one that would cause them lasting injury. What's almost pitiful is that the Jedi weren't the only ones on steroids in the Old Republic. The Republic itself was as well. The Republic was stronger, it had a bigger fleet, and more elite foot soldiers. The clones of Jango Fett were bred from a genetically perfect template, given growth hormones and performance enhancers, and even the Fett clones found themselves at a loss when faced with one of Dooku's acolytes, but they still managed to force Grievous to flee on several occasions. When the clones grouped up against him, sometimes they were able to put him on the back foot. This was usually because Grievous gets arrogant, especially when he's fighting non-Force wielders. He doesn't use his high speed mode, and believes that he can take them out with just his bulk and 2 lightsabers. This pride is what nearly got him taken out by Gungans, but the Republic Trooper was in a league all their own. Most notoriously, these elite commandos were able to take on Sith warriors on the open battlefield, engaging them in fistfights and sometimes winning. Keep in mind, these soldiers were not genetically enhanced by any means. They did have the opportunity to outfit themselves with cybernetics, or to take performance-enhancing adrenals, but by themselves, they were just normal humans, albeit highly trained. Jace Malcolm was able to completely turn the tide of the Battle of Alderaan when Malgus launched a surprise attack. Using nothing but injured soldiers and guerrilla warfare, Malcolm was able to hold out against Imperial forces for weeks before the Republic could arrive. During this time, the Commandos dominated Sith in melee combat and even resisted Malgus's Force Lightning. The ARC troopers of the Clone Wars still managed to get Grievous to retreat for a time, and to Grievous's horror, he would find himself struggling immensely against the Old Republic Commandos. Rather than simply being forced to flee, he may even lose fights to a squad of these guys. To put things very plainly, General Grievous was not built for this era. He dominates in the Clone Wars, but that's because he's against a Republic and a Jedi Order that are not prepared for a war. But if we dropped him in the heat of the Great Galactic War, again a war that spanned 30 years, he would find himself as nothing more than the monster of the week. To put it harshly, he would be chewed up and spat back out, and he'd be left with a healthy fear of what the Jedi should have been. The truth is, the Jedi of the Old Republic were nothing like the Jedi of the Clone Wars. Decades of open war against the Sith reshaped them into something far more dangerous. These were not peacekeepers reluctantly holding lightsabers, but professional warriors forged by constant conflict. The war stripped away hesitation, fear, and complacency, and it left behind the greatest generation of Jedi duelists and Force combatants in galactic history, until perhaps the era of Luke Skywalker. Where the Clone Wars Jedi struggled under confusion and spiritual erosion, the Old Republic Jedi thrived in violence. They learned to adapt, they hardened, and they mastered the art of killing Sith. That contrast matters when judging Grievous. He is a terrifying predator, a lethal executioner, and a genuine threat to almost any Jedi. But the galaxy that he dominated in was not the most dangerous age of Force warfare. In the era of Vitiate, Grievous would not stand alone as a monster. The Sith Empire was actively forging beings worse. True, unadulterated Lords of the Sith, shaped by ritual, ideology, and centuries of accumulated dark-side knowledge. Against such creatures, Grievous would no longer be the apex terror of a battlefield, but one weapon among many in an empire that specialized in creating monsters. And the final piece of the equation? The Jedi of the Old Republic were simply built different. They didn't carry the spiritual rot or the hesitation that fractured the other's connection to the Force, that plagued the Clone Wars Jedi. They were not dulled by complacency or blinded by unseen manipulation. These generations of Jedi were forged in open war, trained to face Sith at their peak, and stripped of weaknesses that allowed figures like Grievous to dominate the later generation. But what do you think, my friends? Were we too hard on the General? Do you agree that the Old Republic was simply different? It was an explosive period in galactic history for sure, when all factions had to be at their absolute peak. This was a time when the Jedi trained like Sith, overcoming their weaknesses and testing their mettle against increasingly more powerful challenges. And when they reconnected with their home planet of Tython, the Jedi of this era got even stronger. The Legends version of General Grievous takes a lot of W's, but that's against a confused and a conflicted Jedi Order, and even against them, he has his limits. So let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, my friends. And as always, thank you so much for joining us here in the archives down below, and let me know if you would like to see more videos on the Old Republic Jedi and Sith. Just say the word and we'll get to work. As always, my friends, may the Force be with you, and have a phenomenal day.
I hope that everybody enjoys my homosexual pride hat. Oh god, he just killed me. Welcome back, everyone, to a special edition of the Downward Diary. I'm coming to you today, as this is being filmed, on... It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve, but it is what I believe is the 4-year anniversary of the day that my childhood was officially destroyed forever, when I was physically raped by J.J. Abrams. No. I'm talking, of course, about The Rise of Skywalker, a movie that I've gone on the record in saying multiple times is my most hated movie ever made, and will likely hold that crown until the day I die. And it has been 4 years, 4 long years since that miserable day. Actually, in the location this is being filmed, not far from here, the Tinseltown in Jacksonville, Florida. I walked into some godforsaken theater in Jacksonville to witness the defining franchise of my childhood meet its bitter and unforgivable end. That was the day it all ended. My reverence, my lifelong childlike reverence for Star Wars, flushed down the toilet, thrown in the trash. Things haven't been the same since. It's one of the most defining, formative experiences of my life. It made me look at media. It made me look at everything completely differently. Because if Star Wars could be destroyed that badly, who knows if any other form of media could be sacred? Who knows if any form of media could eventually be made totally worthless and just not worth engaging with at all. But I've come to learn that when it comes to media, movies, TV, video games, music, we can define our own value. Sorry for the existential beginning. I'm here with Brian, the editor, who's working on lots of Emp Lemon and Downward Diary projects lately. This is a Green Letter Media presentation.
Am I green too?
Probably not. This is Half in the Spiral. Now, we're recording this before watching the movie. After 4 years, I'm finally deciding to give it a rewatch. And I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for the fact that Brian here, who's also a Star Wars fan, has not seen the movie yet.
See, I did the proper thing. When I went into the theater, I watched the first 5 minutes, I watched them hyperspace jump between like 4 different planets, realized that's bullshit, and then I left.
So he's seen the first 5 minutes. He has not seen the part of the film that... Oof. Well, that remains to be seen.
And you have not seen the money returned to your bank account because you didn't get a refund.
Well, I'm hoping to recoup it by making even more Star Wars complaint videos. Try to get that ad revenue back. Brian here is arguably even bigger of a Star Wars fan than I would. Well, it's honestly inarguable. I look around the room, I see Star Wars stuff everywhere.
I got Star Wars comic books. I have probably the largest Star Wars t-shirt collection. It was the largest in 2010. I have to check again. I gotta see if Rancho Obi-Wan has finally hoarded enough shit to finally overcome my record, but I've got hundreds of Star Wars t-shirts, I've got tons of plushies, I've got tons of stuff that I have collected. I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan, but, you know, you can't say that owning stuff necessarily makes somebody a bigger fan, because otherwise, anybody who's got the Lego Death Star with the 24 minifigures would be in that category. And yes, I do have that.
Well, folks in the Star Wars community, you may know him as Star Wars t-shirt kid from Star Wars Celebration. I guess that went a bit viral in the Star Wars community.
It wasn't that viral, but go find the podcast. I know that when I was at the conventions, people were like, hey, look, it's the Star Wars shirt kid. So I was on at least 2 podcasts at that time. They had these podcast booths, and people invited me over. There were people who recognized me because they saw me in little clips, because there was like this contest thing at the time where they were like, how are you celebrating Star Wars Celebration 6? And I had this like time-lapse thing that I did where I wore all of the different Star Wars shirts. Oh my god, I was so cringy. I don't even like thinking about it.
Well, you know, Brian, Star Wars didn't have to become cringe, but sadly, that is the reality we now inhabit. A reality that you, for the time being, have managed to avoid, but it ends today. I'm gonna warn you, this is your last chance to back out. Honestly, I don't blame him. I don't blame him, folks. I don't blame him. He's driving away. He's driving away. Might have to do this review solo. This movie is a Star Wars fan destroyer. I'm sure there's plenty of other fandoms out there. There's plenty of other people who kind of witnessed media they enjoyed consuming. They saw it crash and burn. Sometimes you gotta take Old Yeller behind the shed. I had it happen 4 years ago. Many Star Wars fans had it happen 4 years ago. Today is Brian's day of reckoning. Maybe it doesn't destroy his love of the franchise. Maybe he'll come out of it still liking Star Wars, but all I know is that for myself and a lot of other former Star Wars fans, this was the complete point of irredeemability. The fact that this thing exists, it is now unjustifiable to me to revere this franchise in any way. A huge part of myself and my childhood and something I really enjoyed engaging with was ruined. I guess it's time to relive the experience.
I'm scared. That's all I got. Also, at some point in time, if something's really bad, I'm gonna pretend to kill myself with this.
We're gonna be doing that 40 or 50 times. We got it pulled up here on Disney Plus. Our money's going directly into Kathleen Kennedy's bank account as we speak.
Don't worry, I'm gonna steal it back when I kill it. Oh, it's the Lucasfilm logo. That's how you know things are going to be good.
Ah, yes, the opening text, which once was a source of giddy excitement, has now become a bad omen, a sign of horrible things to come.
Oh, come on, it can't be that bad.
Well, just wait for the opening exposition right here.
A rise of Skywalker, and not his junk.
So going into this, Luke Skywalker just died.
Yeah, so wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense, because Rey's not a Skywalker anyway, is she? The galaxy has heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge in the sinister voice of Emperor Palpatine.
They're just gonna come out, rip the Band-Aid off immediately. Emperor Palpatine is back, folks. It's not even gonna be a surprise. They revealed it in the opening crawl. Well, in fact, everyone knew it going into the movie because he was in the trailers, but they couldn't think of a satisfying villain.
Wait a minute, it says the Phantom Emperor. Is he the real Phantom Menace?
Emperor Palpatine is back. Any reason why? No. He's just here, and we're just gonna get out of the way. They're telling us he's here in the exposition dump. You know what? Maybe that's better. Maybe that's better than if they just made it a surprise.
Is there ever an answer as to who these guys are?
Did I mention that Emperor Palpatine is back?
Did I mention that Emperor Lemon is back? Oh, come on. Nobody is that good of a pilot. TIE fighters don't have drift like that. Got the giant threatening space triangle.
Why is the planet evil? This planet is like designed to be evil. There's like lightning underground.
And lost.
What is this?
Why does he need his lightsaber on? If he's just going to talk to the Emperor or whatever, what?
Yeah, I mean, once again, it looks cool, but
I made smoke.
dude.
Oh yeah, let's get the strobe lights for this.
Dude, that was funny. They cut to a slightly closer shot of his face. Like some kind of B movie.
What is this, a fucking horror movie?
Here's something you were talking about, where to get the release in China, they can't show him as a ghost. I guess it's like a force ghost, which is what's been established.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, he's physically resurrecting a fleet of 10,000 Star Destroyers, each with its own Death Star laser, out of the core of the planet.
Wait a minute.
The might of the final order will soon be ready.
What? They only... Wait, no, hold on. I have to pause this fucking thing. Wait a fucking minute. The only planet this could possibly be is Kuat. Because that's the only planet in which that many Star Destroyers would be within that proximity of each other. Do you know what Kuat is?
No.
Kuat is the Star
Kuwait?
It's the Star Destroyer production planet. It's where they manufacture all of the large-scale ships. It's also where they manufactured parts for the Death Star. There were no mass crashes, and if there were, they would not be assembled that well. So, assuming that this is Kuat...
No, this is its own planet, Brian. It's Exegol, and it's apparently an evil planet, and I guess there's like no workforce or like anything to be seen, but the Emperor has been hiding here the whole time since the events of Return of the Jedi, and he's assembled a fleet of 10,000 Star Destroyers, each of which has its own Death Star laser cannon attached.
Oh, don't you know that if you put your Star Destroyer in the ground, it duplicates like plants?
Well, you see, they made the model once, and then they copy and pasted it like 10,000 times.
Using the Force?
In a nice array, yeah. And Palpatine's black, Palpatine's back, and the planet's
He's black? Even more inclusivity. Palpatine is black?
We're like 2 minutes in, and this movie already doesn't make any sense. It's kind of comically ostentatious and just like how bold it's being with the complete retardation of the plot. So Palpatine, I guess, cloned himself, which I guess makes sense because he was in charge of the Clone Wars. But if he's a clone, why is he the old decrepit version of himself? Wouldn't he be the version of himself in the prequel trilogy before his face got burned from Mace Windu deflecting the Force lightning and burning off his face? Why is he like the evil Palpatine if he's a clone? Oh, it's because it's recognizable, because that's what people know Palpatine as, because they couldn't come up with an actual original villain.
Or you know what? There could be another option. It could be that when he decided to go in for his cloning salon appointment... I have an appointment on Camino. Oh, geez, okay. I have to take over the Senate. All right, I'm going to delay this appointment. He decided to put it off. Well, actually, you have to remember, his brain is still the same brain from the end of episode 6. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw some gag video where someone said like he's just on an asteroid somewhere, and he's like astrally projecting all of this shit.
I miss the simplicity in the series when someone died, they're actually dead, you know? I mean, people can just clone themselves and bring them back. Why wouldn't all the Jedi have, like, backup clones of themselves? Like in Rick and Morty, when Rick dies, he just has a clone, so, like, no one can actually die. You can show people being killed, but it doesn't mean anything. If we pause to think comments,
Yeah, you're right.
this is going to take 10 hours. This is already just, like, absurd. Nothing in Star Wars has ever been this absurd up until this point. Like, he literally just summoned 10,000 Star Destroyers out of, like, the planet's crust. This was not foreshadowed at all in any way. You're starting off your film, your capstone to the trilogy, which is usually supposed to make you the most money and be, like, the best part of the trilogy, with something so ridiculous and bombastic that it already makes the whole thing look like a joke.
Oh, do you remember this? Oh, this is so cool. It's a callback.
Didn't everyone just die in the previous movie? Why aren't they more somber?
It's like a week later. They got it.
Let me fix that surge.
We are.
Who's that? I don't remember him. I don't know what
I don't think he appears at any other time in the movie. Gotta have R2-D2 there for some reason.
Wait, where are they? I don't even know what they're doing right now.
Julio, good to see you.
Julio?
I'm a new ally. A spy in the First Order. You're supposed to be getting rid of those things!
Hey, Finn, you're supposed to be shooting at those guys. No! Oh my god, it's so much worse than I thought it was. Oh my god.
Oh wait, did they use hyperspace to do a
Yes!
solid...
They're hyperspace jumping from one planet to another. That's not possible. You need the Navicomputer to calculate where you are first. And on top of that, if you travel at the speed of light around any fucking planet within 10,000 kilometers, you are going to plummet into the planet's surface at the speed of fucking light. And they bounce to like 4 fucking planets. What is this, the 4th?
Hey, but it looks cool, eh?
5! Fucking 5! Look, they destroyed the big alien. Oh my god, Jesus fucking Christ.
You could like turn that into like a cool ride, like they have the Minions ride at Universal.
Yeah, for a ride, that's fine. Even on the ride, they don't fucking do that. I went on Star Tours.
Look, it's the Avatar.
Be with me.
Be with me.
Be with me. Okay, ruin it with a corny line.
They're not with me.
They're not with me!
Oh,
so clever.
This is the point that this is like new territory for you. Like you walked out.
Yeah, I
by
walked
this
out,
point.
so I haven't seen this.
Millennial writing, where there's potentially dramatic scene that can set an emotional tone, but you don't have faith in your own product, so you gotta cut it off with some snarky thing that will get a cheap pop out of the audience. And it just makes the overall product crap, because like you can tell like you, the writers, don't even have faith in the product.
Her lightsaber was just on, and then it turned off, and then now it's on again?
I'm sure that they had a good reason for that change.
That's apprentice training right there. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
They had her wearing the helmet, like Luke did that in fucking episode 4.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is a boring scene because we already know she has like immense force abilities, aka plot convenience.
Yeah.
Because the writers write themselves into a corner. So let's just say, and this is like concurrent throughout the whole new trilogy. They write themselves in a corner, and then they have Rey come up with like some extreme adaptation of the Force that's never even been seen before in any of the other movies. But she's also like an amateur who's still training.
Yeah, she lifted up the equivalent of like 10 X-Wings of rocks. And now she can't even defeat one training module? Are you kidding me?
The conversation about like the Mary Sue stuff, that's all tired and played out, but it comes from a reasonable observation people have where the progression of Rey's skill is just inconsistent throughout this trilogy.
Why did she just destroy the training module? Isn't that a total waste?
I guess they have unlimited resources, even though there's resistance and they just nearly all got wiped out in the last movie. But it doesn't matter, because, as we'll see, we have more friends in the galaxy that can help join us and fight.
Oh no,
So
baby A got crushed.
the entire conflict of the last movie is just pointless. Having a trilogy with like 2.5 different directors not going to create a cohesive product.
I will own your brother Saber.
That's not her hand, is it?
I'm sure it's a body double and they deepfake her face.
Or
Now-
they just used footage that they already had that was like cut.
Now, if it is a deepfake, the technology has come a long way since the Grand Moff Tarkin deepfake.
That was not
from-
actually a deep fake. That was a CGI.
Oh, it was CG? It's hard to tell at this point.
Yes, Master.
She just called Leia Master.
Wait, so Leia's a Jedi Master?
According to this, because she used the Force in space once to save her ass.
In one of the worst scenes in cinematic history?
You light speed skip?
You light speed skip? They just called it.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow,
There it
Palpatine
is.
returned.
This millennial writing that's infesting new films, you can get away with it in Marvel because they're on Earth still and they're like humans, but this is supposed to be a fantastical universe. It just takes you out of it. It reminds you you're watching actors to hear them say stuff like this, all these little stupid writing conventions. It's just dumb. If you watch the old Star Wars, they don't do that. It helps make the dialogue more convincing and less distracting.
No, I completely agree with you. Like, there's just so much awful dialogue. I'm trying to also, like, pay attention to it, but it's like, I feel like I'd be criticizing every line.
By this point in the trilogy, the characters are not strong. They have not been set up in a way where they have strong arcs and their motivations are clearly defined, and you care about what they're doing. So That caused the dialogue to be boring. Overhaul the entire arc plot structure of the story. Get ready for 20 more minutes of convoluted expedition dump that kind of but doesn't really make sense, and have the gears spin your head trying to justify like why any of this is actually happening.
In the previous scene, did you see that she was opening one of the old Jedi texts? One of the ones that they were supposed to burn in the last movie?
A pile of old books. Sacred Jedi texts.
Not about money. It's about sending a message. Everything burns.
I guess they got it from somewhere else.
Burn all the books we must.
They checked one of them out.
Rose, last chance.
Oh, Rose Tika, who's barely in this movie because the perception against her was so poor in the last one. Also because China doesn't want to see interracial relationship between a Chinese woman and a black man.
Actually, I don't think she was Chinese. I think she was Vietnamese. And they knew that, and that's part of why they didn't like it, because it was marketed as if she was Chinese.
They set her up to be such a huge part of the last movie, she's barely in this movie. Spoiler, by the way. As if anyone cares.
What was the point of handing off the lightsaber and handing it back? Because you needed to use up the footage that you still had of this dead actress?
So you can get a shot for the trailer.
This has got to be a deep fake right here. They definitely didn't have a clip of them hugging.
Are you one of those single-tier people?
I mean, this is a supposedly emotional scene, and like...
Yeah, I was about to say that.
These characters are not well written, so it doesn't feel like anything.
It doesn't. No, I don't think
It's like, oh
anybody
yeah,
would watch that.
Ray and Leia's relationship was so strong before that scene that it really matters.
What are they, putting his mask back together? Just make him a new one.
You know, Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, no, we got Monkey Boy up in here. Monkey Jones cameo in Star Wars? Okay.
This movie makes me want to go ape.
It's a monkey elf. I kind of like the cyber monkey. That's the only thing I've liked about this movie so far. And I'm not even a big monkey guy.
Yeah, honestly,
He's got the bright red Gorilla Glue holding together his mask.
I guess it's supposed to look like that.
Did he just slap that guy's head down on the table? You know, somebody has to clean that, right, dude? Could have just said that you killed him.
Kind of gross and unsanitary.
What, does he want to intimidate them? Dude, he literally has the Force.
For what it's worth, it's in character because he's like unprofessional about what goes about his leadership. How is the First Order not won already?
Prepare to crush any worlds that defy us.
Was there a motivated reason why he did that?
I wasn't able to tell because the dialogue was not engaging me.
Because obviously that's supposed to be an homage to Vader choking the guy for making fun of his force powers in A New Hope. But that was like a motivated character scene. He just did that for no reason. Because it's supposed to remind you of the old movie.
What is this?
Oh god, they're in Israel.
This festival is known for both its colorful kites and its delectable sweets.
See, like, why do they have to do that? Like, what is wrong with what he said? He's explaining where they are in a place that they don't know.
Yeah,
They're looking at him like he's some kind of retard.
Like, shut up, white boy.
That character B will become more insulting later on, as you'll see.
Don't tell me that they raped my boy C-3PO. See, in this culture, instead of giving them a circumcision, they cut off the tip of their nose.
I'm sure there's some Wikipedia article about that, 6 pages long.
Wait, they do! Look at their noses are stubbed.
No, there's no way that can be.
Gaslighting me. Are you telling me that they're not racist? Weren't the majority of aliens in the original trilogy all just racist?
Yeah, these guys look like, whatever the guy is Anakin gets in the pod racer for. The Jewish merchant.
Oh, you're talking about Watto.
Oh yeah, Watto. These guys look like Watto.
He's standing here like showing off his Lego model that he just built.
Showing off his giant COVID vaccine.
I see through the cracks in your mask. You're haunted.
And there's literal cracks in his mask.
Sorry.
Did they make that design choice just because of that line in the script?
What?
Well, they established they can physically transport projects through the stellar medium using their dyad powers in The Last Jedi. Again, you can't think of a more elegant way for them to find out where they are. You have to have the character physically take an object through, like, space and time.
How did they get there that fast?
I guess that was a soldier on outpost.
Okay, maybe. Why couldn't he just use the Force to find out where they were? Because if you were able to communicate with her, what is there, like some weird wireless signal that connects them from anywhere?
And why can't they use the Force to tell where Palpatine is?
Wookiees standing out of the crowd.
Another guy from the old movies.
He's here. He's just here. Great, I believe that.
Oh yeah, he's randomly at this cultural festival. People in the audience who've studied this more, was there any setup or like diegetic reason for Lando to be here?
Did they like walk in there because they knew he was going to be in there, or what? Did he invite them in? I didn't.
Like, was there some line message like, "There, an old friend of mine will be waiting," or something like that? No, he's just there for no reason, for convenience. The thing you're going to start to realize about this plot is that it's completely jacked up and frenetic with the pacing, where to disguise the fact that they don't have an actual satisfying story with arcs and any sort of character development or just a satisfying problem solving, they just throw a bunch of different sequences over and over and over and over, rapid fire, machine gun style, and they hope that just like the visual noise is enough to entertain you and make you forget about the fact that none of the events that are happening have any logical bearing on anything.
The giant floating triangle.
How do you know how to do that?
Wouldn't Finn know that Poe is somewhat skilled at this by now?
In the 7th movie, the two of them literally hacked into a TIE fighter together.
Use the toggle on the left to switch between missiles, cannons, and mag pulse. Use the sight on the right to aim. Triggers to fire.
This is very complicated.
Did the writers of this movie even watch the old movies?
I fly now?
More millennial writing. You could just let the scene play out normally and just have it be like, oh, that's cool. But you have to vocally confirm it because I guess the audience is too stupid to comprehend what they're seeing with their eyes. One bullet from that was enough to explode the whole thing. Doesn't that seem like a pretty big design flaw on your futuristic space equipment where a simple grappling hook could cause the whole thing to be completely destroyed?
There's plenty of things that I could criticize in that scene, but I'm willing to give that credence because there are things that we use in the modern day that could be destroyed by a simple grappling hook.
No, but Brian, this is supposed to be the Type 3 Kardashev civilization with the power of destroying an entire planet.
Yeah, but I mean, we have the...
They're being thwarted by grappling hook.
Oh, well, come on, we got the tech to destroy an entire planet, but we could be thwarted by a grappling hook. How big of a fucking explosion! Oh, that looks bad. That looks...
Brian, are you getting a sinking feeling that maybe Star Wars might be doomed?
What are you talking about?
Oh great, they're dead. They're just gonna suffocate to death.
I hate the CG in this shot right here.
Yeah, that looked pretty jank.
So wait, hold on.
Okay.
Why is this not full of that quicksand shit? Is the quicksand shit just magical that it only lets...
No, okay, Brian, don't ask questions. We're on to the next scene. It doesn't matter. They're in a giant pool of quicksand. Now they're in an empty, dry cave, and for some reason the quicksand is not flowing and inundating this empty cavernous space which is under it. We're on to the next scene. It doesn't matter.
You're
There's
right.
a potentially dangerous and threatening scene for the protagonist, and now it just doesn't matter. They're back to normal.
And she just turns on the lightsaber. Oh, what a funny gag. She turns on the lightsaber and he turns on his flashlight.
That's something that I feel like it almost worked. I mean, like, a lightsaber is, like, kind of a hazardous thing to have out, so it seems kind of dumb of Rey to do that, just using the lightsaber as a light source, when both of them clearly have flashlights and they prepared to bring them. Whatever, just don't think about anything. Nothing is supposed to make any sense.
What's that? What? An old one.
This was OG's?
It's Hitler's Mercedes-Benz right there.
Yeah, Hitler's a Sith, just so you know the Sith are bad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't like blondes.
What, is this Ghostbusters? Bro, is this Scooby-Doo? What is that line, man?
Wait a minute, I thought C-3PO's arm was red. Since episode 7, he had the red arm.
So you're telling us the one time we need you to talk, you can't?
I am mechanically incapable of speaking translations from Sith.
Another contrived plot thing that could have easily been cut out, but they have to move the plot along to different things to give the impression that the story is actually evolving.
What, is she gonna pull an avatar and touch hairs with this thing and the two of them are just gonna get along?
Oh my god. Are you sure you haven't seen this before?
No. No. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Are you ready for some more Ray power scaling?
Just because I already know what's gonna happen now because you said that. You understand me if we touch each other. It's just how to train your dragon.
It's a bit further than that.
Oh.
You know, that would have been convenient for all those people who died in like, the last movie. But it's a good thing she just now figured out how to use it on this random snake creature. We've only just begun, Brian. We've only just begun.
How far are we in this movie?
1 hour and 48 minutes left.
Oh my god. What was the point of that?
She has a new power. Despite struggling to kill a training module, she can now physically heal the wounded. Damn, you know, Anakin must be pissed that this is a thing. I mean, he can just heal flesh. He could have just gone back to normal. You mean Emperor Palpatine couldn't figure out how to do this? Oh, I guess the Sith are evil, so they don't have healing powers.
For us at the Falcon. Yeah, they'll throw us in the pits of Grick.
Grick? The pits of Grick? What a dumb name.
I'm sure there's a 17-page Wikipedia article about their adventure in the pits of Grick. Oh, another great scene is coming, by the way. I hope you're ready.
Let's get those converters fired up.
Gotta get rid of all those space spider webs that are only in strategic places where the camera is gonna move through so that they can use it to, like...
How else is the audience supposed to know that it's old and dilapidated? You didn't see them.
Well, no, of course he could. Not in that giant fucking suit. You know what's funny? When I met Peter Mayhew and Kenny Baker, they were both sitting next to each other. They would be around each other because he's like the shortest because he used to fit inside of the little R2-D2 machine because he's tiny. And then he's, of course, like 7 feet tall. Seeing them right next to each other was like this. This was a wacky thing.
Chewie, what happened? Wait, why did he go off wandering on his own again? Was there a reason given for that?
To go get Rey, apparently. I'm trying to read the dialogue here, but it's also not very engaging.
And he conveniently had the Sith dagger.
I've seen this from the trailer. She does some stupid backflip.
Again, tactically none of this really makes any sense. He's gonna like run her over like this is GTA. Like, don't you have lasers? Blast her. What are you doing?
What, are you above that because you're a Sith?
Okay, she's clearly got something planned. You still shoot her. Kylo, what are you doing? What did you think was gonna happen?
He's just dead. That's the end.
They got Chewie! They got him!
Here comes a top 10 great scene in the movie.
No, they don't. They don't got Chewie. Oh, is she gonna shit her pants and then they're gonna get away?
Nope, even better.
Is she gonna slam it into him?
Imagine the most stupid thing you could possibly think of. It's gonna happen.
She's gonna slam it into him. She's gonna slam the ship that has her friend. No!
It gets better. It gets better.
I half expect Finn to join in.
That would have been good, but it's something else. It's something else.
What is she shit her pants? Oh my god! Oh my god! Did she kill Chewie? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Why is everyone just standing around in isolated places? They could all just be killed.
Bro, she just fucking killed Chewie.
Oh, once again, everyone's attacking one at a time. They were all just standing around for like 2 minutes, and they could have all been killed. But Kylo decides to go in without his massive entourage of TIE fighter pilots.
So Chewie's just fucking dead?
Do you think he's dead?
No, I don't.
But clearly, they just acted like he was dead.
They're gonna do something later. He comes back. They're gonna be like, Chewie!
Oh, is she gonna find the burnt corpse of Chewie and just heal him back to life?
That power came from me. Finn never thinks you don't know.
Then tell me.
They can't kiss, because apparently he and Poe are gay, right?
I thought he was in love with Rose Tika in the last movie. Or did that just get retconned for China?
I don't remember, but people were saying that him and Poe are gay now or something. You know what she looked like there? Like a meth head who was out of meth. She had like that.
It brought back a valuable prisoner.
Is that Tom Hanks?
Guess what? He was on the other ship! Oh my god. Talk about having your cake and eating it too. He's alive! Oh, we couldn't have a character impactfully die or have you believe a character is dead for 5 minutes.
To the wayfinder thing and it's gone.
So true. The inscription lives only in my memory.
They all like turn towards him.
But the translation from a forbidden language cannot be retrieved. That is short of a complete redacted memory bypass.
Let's do that.
See, like, this is just dumb stalling for time. Now they have to go to a whole nother planet, a whole nother set piece, just so that they can read the stupid code that we've just had access to for the last 25 minutes.
Is this where this droid gets introduced? Is this how, like, robots breed? They just, like, stick their penises in things?
What is the point of this? Do we need another cute droid to sell toys for?
They should have brought Bernie from the Wall-E franchise into this.
Yeah, they're in the same universe now. Every Disney property is in the same universe. Pixar theory, how we can fit it into Star Wars.
You're the one they're looking for. Bounty for her just might cover us.
Dude, you have a blaster. Just blow her head off.
Not that you care, but I think you're okay. I care.
And just like that, the conflict is resolved.
You'd think that at that point she would pull the trigger as soon as the lightsaber was off. Like, that would be the smart thing. Because she's supposed to be like some hardcore spice runner.
Cold bounty hunter only cares about my profits. And now I'm helping the heroes.
Oh, she kicked my associates in the dick? Okay, I like you now. Was that monster's eyes nipples?
There's a lot of special designs in there.
They're giving him a lobotomy.
Translated from Sith? That's it.
Yeah, that's what we need.
When has a Sith ever spoken Sith?
When has a non-Sith ever spoken Sith?
If this mission fails, it was all for nothing.
He's talking about the franchise.
Taking one last look, sir, at my friends.
See, like, are they your friends? They were clowning him the entire time. You're talking about how, like, useless he was the whole time. But you're supposed to have an emotionally poignant scene.
What, so they're gonna have him commit space suicide? Robot suicide?
General Pride.
Is his name General Pride?
What, as in, like, white pride or something?
No, Pride as in, like, gay pride.
Oh, another gay character? Another day in Israel.
Free passage through any blockade. Landing privileges, any vessel.
Oh, another plot convenience. Delivered straight to him in a Chuck E. Cheese token. You're gonna need this for later, when we run out of things to do to get characters from one place to another.
Squeaky wheel. I have a squeaky wheel. Squeak eliminated. Thank you.
Okay, I like this droid. It's the only thing I've liked about this movie so far. Other than the monkey elves.
An earth monkey.
This droid doesn't even serve a functional purpose.
What do you mean? Like, sell a ton of toys off of him.
The day my parents left, they were on that ship.
Oh, yeah, remember Rey's parents? The thing that was supposed to be her whole shtick in the last movie. They're just being brought up now for the first time.
Wait, what the fuck? His eyes are red.
Oh my god, it's Darth 3PO.
3-6, bearing 3-2, on a moon in the Endor system.
I'm sorry. So, in order to translate the Sith, it has to, like, come back out of the speaker in some evil, demonic voice? Is that really necessary?
Because the Sith are evil, you see.
Chewie?
What about him?
He's on my ship.
Oh, so Chewie has force powers, so she can tell when Chewie's on the ship? Can she tell where any random person is anywhere?
3PO, move your metal ass. We're almost there.
Yay!
Move your metal ass.
Fight my shiny metal ass. Take your Chuck E. Cheese token.
Sorry, I don't think I can take this.
I don't care what you think.
Dude, you were just trying to kill him like in 5 minutes ago. I'm sure that wasn't even 5 minutes ago. It was about 7 minutes ago.
It's okay, he's gonna get his Bitcoin, and then they're gonna be able to board the ship, even though he's probably one of the most wanted people by the First Order. No one's gonna recognize him. Yeah, Bitcoin.
This feels so fucking stupid.
Wait, I didn't realize are they boarding the ship right now? Bro, they literally gave them plot convenience in a coin. That's crazy, dude.
We're just gonna board the First Order ship.
I think by this point I was mentally checking out, and I've had like large stretches of amnesia from what has transpired in this film. There's no one else watching the hangar.
There's nobody else watching the hangar, but also the hangars are not unique. There should be different hangars in Star Wars. They should not all look like the same Imperial hangar.
Drop your weapons.
It's okay that we're here.
It's okay that you're here. It's good.
Did she do that to us?
Okay, actually, I do like the line, can she do that to us? Because that is something that I have asked.
That's somewhat justifiable. How incompetent are the First Order? I get that the Empire was like this in the first movie. Is this an unmanned ship? Where are all the soldiers?
Yeah.
They're just freely roaming around the halls, and they encounter like one group of soldiers. But whatever, we gotta get the dagger back, or Chewie, or whatever. Even though we could have just written the script more cleanly so as to not get in this stupid, convoluted, reality-breaking situation in the first place.
Is he the only prisoner on the ship?
I guess. Like, is there any tension at all? Is there like any reason to believe that they're just not gonna mow down every single enemy in their way and get to where they have to go? It just makes sequences like this boring.
They were coming up from behind. They thought to blast with a... Oh my god.
Oh no, look, he got shot. They were probably thinking, like, this is too ridiculous. We have to at least give the impression of danger one time. They literally can't... You can't just run on an Imperial ship completely unopposed and not have any resistance. Oh no, they're getting caught. I guess it really is over for them. Wow. I guess I forgot that scene happened. They're just gonna get off the ship anyway, so it's just basically stalling for time.
I think that justifies a little bit of their Call of Duty moment.
Ray, heal my body. The burns they still itch.
Ray,
It's just out in the open.
wherever you are hard to find.
What do you mean wherever you are? Don't you recognize where she is?
I've been in your head.
I don't want this, and I don't want this.
That's rape. That's mind rape. Wait, so if she's a Palpatine, did Palpatine, like, space rape her mom?
Maybe. Palpatine didn't like to use condoms. He wanted to feel the full force of the experience.
Terminate them.
Yo, Terminators in the same universe of Star Wars?
This must be very confusing for their sword fight, where they, like, keep flickering back and forth between backgrounds.
You. But I wouldn't say.
What was that, dude? Why include that? It's just distracting. Darth Naz.
Oh no, there goes Darth Vader's mask. Now it's on the
Dude,
sand.
as if Anakin Skywalker can get disrespected anymore.
I already said this before, I hate that they keep using the Vader mask thing, because what they really were trying to do with this was they wanted to explain to the audience that they could not write a better villain than Darth Vader by writing a villain who instead was a whiny little bitch who complains about how he can't be as good as Darth Vader, and then is constantly comparing himself.
And then he actually just ends up not being as good. He never overcomes that part of his character motivation.
He never overcomes that part of his character. He's boring. He's a petulant child who just, like, rages at things.
Oh, but he teases at expedition dumps to make us feel like the story is more interesting than it is.
They should have at least...
I'm the spy.
What?
We don't have much time.
What?
I knew it!
No, you did not.
Well, you know...
What the f***?
It's okay, it's okay. The plot requires that they
No!
get off the ship in like 1 minute.
No, this is bullshit. That's so fucking stupid.
Also, do you like the subtle delivery of "I'm the spy"?
No! That was so retarded. Honestly, I think that was the bigger plot twist than anything Ryan Johnson spit in our face.
Blast me in the arm. Well, they'll know.
No one saw that they don't have like CCTV in this futuristic space station.
I don't care if you win. I need Kylo Ren to lose.
Okay, I guess that makes a little bit more sense. You gotta kiss over.
Are you sure you've seen these?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. No, they don't. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. No. Okay, you're trolling. Trolling.
Yeah, I am trolling.
Okay.
You're his granddaughter. You are a Palpatine.
You're a Palpatine! Okay, I got this spoiled for me.
Palpatine loved hookers.
What, is she gonna, like, commit suicide by jumping off the end? Please do that. It'll make for a more interesting movie.
This reminds me of Star Wars Battlefront 2, where you could, like, exit the ship outside of the hangar and then jump and fall into the void.
I remember Battlefront 2. Good time.
Bro, did they super glue his head back together, too? I forget, where did that scar come from?
I don't remember where the scar came from.
It's the Millennium Falcon!
What?
Just when you need the injection of soy, it's here.
What? We're gonna turn up the fucking propulsion just to blow back all of the stormtroopers at once.
Ray and Kylo are not getting horrifically burned for some reason.
This movie is gayer than these fucking rainbow Sour Patch Airheads.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Definitely the Supreme Leader.
Yes, sir.
Just shoot me so it makes it look like I got away.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just killed him anyway. So what was the point of that? It just makes him look dumb. And then it makes the rest of the First Order look dumb, that they were fooled by him at all. Ray Palpatine should be called the last Palpatine.
That'd be too much of a spoiler. It'd piss everybody.
They already put it in the opening crawl and had him in all the promotional material in the trailers. What's a little more?
They should have literally had some gay line. You weren't the last Skywalker. You were the last Palpatine. Did they just have 4 planets in one shot?
They're in the Endor system again, because they have to go to the remains of the destroyed Death Star.
I've seen this shot before. It's retarded. That's not how the Death Star would have collapsed into the planet. Into the ocean, no less. This is decades after the fact. You really think it's going to hold that much structural integrity after it just blew the f*** up? Shut up. Shut the f*** up.
Oh, here comes another good part. Get ready.
Oh, that's so fucking stupid. As if Palpatine knew that this was just gonna magically work.
They knew the exact, this 1,000-year-old Sith blade knew the exact configuration that the second Death Star would fall into the ocean with. And it confirms that it is in fact the second Death Star. Whoa, surf's up.
There's something inside there we need.
I can take you there by water.
Don't you guys have spaceships?
We can go first light tomorrow.
We can't wait that long. We don't have the time.
Or the choice. They can't get another ship? No one on this planet has a ship? Aren't there like speeders in Star Wars that levitate above the ground and they're fairly common on like every planet? Wouldn't they levitate across the water? These people don't have speeders either. How do they know what anything is? It's like a primitive remedial society. Bro, they wouldn't fit in Israel.
Everything is an Israel-Palestine joke. War is real. Palestine is real.
There's a lot of desert planets in Star Wars.
The Force brought me here. Brought me to Rey and Poe.
You say that like you're sure it's real.
It's real.
What? He has the Force too?
Or is Rey just like crossing the ocean with the Force?
I mean, at this point, why not just make her literally levitate across? Like Princess Leia in The Last Jedi. Why are they still so concerned about Rey when it's clear that she can just magically get out of any situation or peril that she's ever encountered? But oh no, a few waves, that's too dangerous for her. That concern to make it feel like not just going from point A to point B 17 different times, basically no resistance.
What are you talking about? There's a whole bunch of resistance.
Oh yeah. I mean, they almost all died in the last movie.
I was just trying to make a bad pun because they're the resistance.
I understand.
I'm sorry. See, it's funny you're like.
Hey, look, it's like the old Death Star. It's kind of cool, right?
Oh, it's kind of like the old Star Destroyers she used to climb around in.
Yeah, it's like it's like Lando was flying around in the interior, and now she's physically climbing it.
You'd think with all of her climbing experience, she would have been more careful to lay all of her weight on that one.
It's okay. We're just padding up the runtime some more. what, she like did all this stuff, but she's just gonna fall here.
I would love a movie like that, where it's like the plot twist is that they die in the most benign, boring way possible. The way that you do in a video game.
Look, it's the Emperor's old throne room. Remember that from the last movie?
Oh, dude, I remember.
And they're playing the same music cue to make sure you remember, because they couldn't think of anything new or interesting. Yeah, we get it.
And the door opens automatically. Why?
There's still power in the ship, I guess. Oh, wait, no. A great scene is about to occur. That's why.
You know, I'm confident that this movie's going to turn itself around. I still believe
that Star Wars can be saved.
I do believe it can.
Does it actually feel like anything has happened to this point? We're about to enter the third act. It feels like almost no progress has been made to the actual plot.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're 3/5 of the way through the movie. The ending's going to be great. The last 2/5 of the movie are great. The first 3/5, it was a compromise. Because they realized that the last hour is so good.
Starting now.
See? Plot twist. There's more women in Star Wars.
Not just any women.
Sith woman.
Don't you recognize her? It's Darth Rey.
What?
And she has pointy teeth.
What?
She has veneers.
I thought that was her mom for a second. See, this is. It's the 3/5 compromise. And then the other 2/5 are... How did he get here? Sorry, what even was that? Was that a holocron?
No, that was like another one of those things that's supposed to lead you to the Emperor. The whole point of this has been going from a place to a place to a place to a place, trying to get the holocron so they can find out how to go to the Emperor, because it's not on the existing star maps.
Okay, here's that other scene that I've seen from the commercial.
I mean, it sure looks cool. Like a cool place to fight.
Yeah, this is the lightsaber battle on the RMS Titanic as it's sinking. Very classic.
That's my hopes and dreams for Star Wars not being cringe. Imagine that.
Ouch.
Imagine that. Finn running out and screaming Rey. He's been doing the same exact thing for 3 movies, and he hasn't changed.
He's still simping for that.
At some point, it's just a total joke.
Oh, this is just segregation.
He's gonna shout Rey one more time. Dude, that's all he does. He's like a Pokemon. Oh my god, dude. The scene is like no dramatic way because it's unclear what any of these characters actually wants, and we're all just stalling because we know Palpatine's the real villain, so it's just like not gonna accomplish anything. Bro, what was the point of that?
I honestly don't like how they've made lightsabers less crisp. They're more sparkly now. There used to be the sharpness to the earlier ones because that's all they can physically accomplish with the technology. Whereas now, they can make them look like there's all of these flame particles coming off.
They're all wiggly.
They're wiggly, and I don't like that. But I will say, the VFX artist who started that, I do respect him. He's actually Andrew Kramer from Video Copilot. Did you know that?
Hey, what's up? Andrew Kramer here, VideoCopilot.net.
Rey, she's finally dead. Something that should have happened in the first act of the last movie. Damn, she's evil.
What?
Here's what I don't get. If she had just like stabbed him outright, that could have potentially been an interesting, compelling scene. But you gotta constantly interject all the other old characters into what the new characters are doing. Like imagine if when Luke is fighting Vader at the end of The Empire Strikes Back, that Obi-Wan randomly comes in and says, Luke, you have to dodge left, now dodge right.
I'm gonna heal him now.
It's just like, I'm tired of thinking about the old characters when this movie is supposed to be about the new characters. So I guess it's supposed to be, oh, it's an emotional scene, she died. But honestly, I don't care that she died, because she should have been dead at the beginning of The Last Jedi, where it made the most logical sense for a character to die. Oh, but no one was sad. We love Leia. Has Kylo won a single fight in this entire trilogy? He has to be made just like the biggest jabroni out of any character in this show. This show. He's such a cuck. Oh my god. Just got killed and then respawned. You should basically just teabag her like it's a Call of Duty lobby because he keeps getting humiliated. It's like no wonder they have to bring back Palpatine as the main villain. Right! As the main villain. Right.
We're just laughing.
You're just awkwardly staring for like minutes.
You know what'd be really funny is if she just woke up.
She went like,
We got
Oh my god, dude. Damn, people are so sad that like this 86-year-old woman died. I can't believe it.
Hey, kid.
What? What?
Who do you think it is? Look, we haven't been reminded of the old cast enough. Dude, this guy's like schizophrenia. He needs to get checked out. He's like having visions where he's talking to people through space and time, and old people who've died.
Is he gonna kill him again?
That would have actually been good. He's such a cuss. Oh my
Look
god.
at him. He looks like such a soy boy. Such a little crybaby.
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Stop crying. God damn it.
Isn't it that's the same line he said before in the 7th movie?
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Can't write anything new. It all has to be based on something else.
Yeah. Is he gonna hug him this time instead of killing him? Is he gonna blow his brains out?
He just kill himself. I mean, there's nothing else for this character to do. You idiot.
You're gonna need that for later, bud. And then his dad's just gone, so it's like, fuck, why did I do that?
Dude, he's just schizophrenic. What is this, man?
Go to therapy.
Oh yeah, the main villain we're supposed to be caring about is the first time we're seeing him in an hour and 40 minutes. Has he been in contact with the First Order this whole time, or is it just now happening?
I want to take a moment to acknowledge the previous Star Wars movies. Let's ignore the giant electro dick that was just on screen there.
How about the First Order having some nice women empowerment? They do not discriminate by gender.
That's great. Dude!
Do you think Babu got out of that alive?
There's a 9/11 in every single one of these movies. There was one 9/11 that happened in the first 6 movies, and then since these new 3 have come out, there's been one in like every episode. The cum shot, which blows up 6 different planets or something like that in episode 7. You have the hyperspace jump in episode 8.
What now?
I remember Rose Tika.
Charge
like
set.
this is like her second line in an hour and 40 minutes when she was supposedly an integral part of the last film. Don't you like all this resources to build up these characters, give them screen time, just to have them be irrelevant or dead?
Kidding me,
or both?
Hey! Hey, look, this dinosaur's back again. He's in a Star Trek outfit because he's over this shit.
You cannot have a character from the old past not on screen for 5 minutes.
Let's look at this is Star Wars. So much of what inspired the original 6 movies was mythology.
We've got to
so
kick it up
much
again.
of what George Lucas
PLA are
was
sending fuel
based
trucks
off
to
of
the depot.
uniforms from Nazis.
We must
or things
deny
like
them
that.
that fuel.
Old kings,
Let's move.
legacies. You have thousands of years of history that used to influence what Star Wars was.
Support gunner,
And then I'm looking
200
at all
meters,
this.
northeast.
Where do you think the Porgs came from in history? Where do you think that came from? I'll tell you where it came from. Didn't come from any myth, didn't come from any history, any sort of respect for the universe in which we live in, and using that to try and inspire this world that somebody had created. No, instead, they threw out any
Target,
myth and
support
instead
gunner
thought,
is eliminated. Target, rifleman is eliminated.
Well, you know, you couldn't have had all the other old characters without having Luke in here as well. Oh, another thing that basically retcons the entire last film and changes his characterization, thus making the whole Last Jedi, Luke's arc in The Last Jedi, pointless. I get that people didn't like The Last Jedi, but I would have preferred for it to be meaningful and have sequentially amounted to something, rather than just walking it all back here and saying like, okay, sorry, Rian Johnson was a mistake, Luke is back to being optimistic or whatever, and his sacrifice is needless. That like Anakin's lightsaber, I guess.
no, that's not Anakin's lightsaber.
Yeah, this training we never got to see. She's unannounced, just this random exposition dump scene.
None of this feels like it means anything.
Leia had lightsaber training the whole time. Why didn't she get her ass on the battlefield?
She's dressed like an Assassin's Creed character right now.
No, she was going through her hermit phase for like 2 minutes. And Luke was like, do not do that.
We are monitoring a buildup of forces in the valley area.
The X-Wing up for the 7,000th time. Remember the X-Wing being lifted out of the Dagobah Swamp? Remember the X-Wing being lifted out of the Dagobah Swamp? Swamp.
remember that, and now Luke is doing it. That's really, wow. See, because Yoda did it before in front of Luke.
You soy people have done this. Stop equating a good movie with references.
What are you talking about? This is great. He just lifted the X-Wing.
You people, you brain-rotted millennials, have done this.
Mr. Lemon, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Why can't you smile with me? Is he gonna like sting him and his whole memory comes back?
Yep.
It's literally...
It didn't even matter. Oh, what a worthy sacrifice.
Malware bites. I didn't know that was in the Star Wars movie.
This movie is malware. It's trying to warn us.
Hey, look, she's wearing the helmet that Luke once wore.
Oh my god, they're in like some intestines. What the hell is this?
It's Star Wars Vor.
Then we go together.
We go together, we kiss.
I fight for my friends.
Come on, buddy. We need you.
Well, at least they made Chewie still depressed. That's accurate. They don't just, like, have him move on. He's the only character who's remained with his emotions, and he's the one who, like, literally only speaks and growls.
It's because they couldn't ruin his dialogue with crappy idioms and snappy comebacks, because he doesn't speak.
Right.
Yeah. We think hitting the cannons might ignite the main reactors.
God, she's so hot.
God, I want to buy a toy. Is that Admiral Akbar's cousin? Is that Admiral Akbar's cousin?
They're all in CG now.
It's just like...
Oh, look at the CG there. Oh, that was bad.
They're trying to give the impression of the end of Return of the Jedi by having a bunch of people who look like you had an AI, you had Dolly and Minnie trying to redraw Admiral Akbar, but slightly different. And you just have the same old-ass characters.
Leia never gave up.
Leia never. Didn't she literally lie down and die like 20 minutes ago?
I think there was a purpose for that. I just don't remember what it was, and I don't think any of us cared.
Oh no, my two favorite children are fighting. I gotta die and remind them to have like a little We Are the World moment. Kumbaya.
You know, there's this focus on Leia, despite...
The Tantive 4 is here? Why? Why?
The shot's coming, isn't it? The big shot where there's so many fucking ships, it's retarded. I think I remember seeing a little behind-the-scenes thing on this shot.
They've got the X-Wing and the Y-Wing. No one has made any new ships in the last 40 canonical years.
They got the Z-Wing. They got...
Why, dude? We get it. There's stuff from the old movies. Dude, it's so embarrassing. Oh my god. It's an embarrassing lack of imagination. Or just the hope that these brain-rotted soy millennials who eat up whatever slop that Disney puts out for them and rate 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, 10 out of 10 on IMDb, and go on Twitter and reply to anyone who calls this film rightfully shit. So you can sit there and point at the screen and soy out, you bunch of soylent drinking, soy facing fucks. We gotta put the Tantive 4 in there to remind you of the old movies.
Oh, are you assuming that all of them can pilot their way through this fucking mess?
Oh yeah, all that stuff they said about solar winds. It's not too hard apparently. They just go because they need to be from point A to point B.
I'm sorry, are they all doing a hyperspace jump right now into the atmosphere?
Look at that fleet.
Great, now they'll probably all get obliterated by this massively overmatched fleet, won't they?
I'm sorry, look at how close they are to the clouds. I think they all just pulled out of light speed within the allotted distance. Oh my god, that's worse than earlier. That's worse than the fucking... They did the hyperspace jump to like 5 different planets. That was bad enough. But all of these Ooh, the Palpatine theme is playing now.
He has a bunch of Eldritch statues.
What a narcissist. He's got so many statues of himself. I would only have one statue of myself.
Did he have like one giant stonemason or like 10,000 regular sized stonemasons?
He used the Force.
Oh yeah, this planet is just made by the Force. Like the Force can create an evil planet now.
I sculpted them with the Force.
I sculpted them in my image, down to every last wrinkle.
Switch over the source of navigation signal to this ship.
Like the navigation signal needs to be on one ship. They don't have like a little Wi-Fi router on the planet to help them take off. What is even happening? Did they think this through for more than 2 seconds when they wrote this? Or it's like, we have 18 months to make this movie. We fired the director who's going to work on it, who had a whole other story worked out, and now we just need an ending. So, whatever. Put the fucking pieces together. It's going to work. It's going to fit. It doesn't matter. The fleet can't take off because the navigation is on one ship. Okay, whatever. Oh, here comes another great scene.
Hey, look, they're trotting on horseback. This is the shot you mentioned.
I believe it was during the scene where the heroes are fighting the heavily armed space fleet on horseback when I really started rethinking my life choices. Star Wars, as I knew it, was dead. It was something I'd suspected all along, and by now, there was no more childhood naivete to cushion the blow. It dawned on me that all those years I had spent as a die-hard fan had meant absolutely nothing.
You know, if like one laser goes in there, they're all dead. Oh, it's getting good. It's getting good, boys.
And BB-8 is
This is where we make the money.
Hold on, so they're on like horseback, and BB-8 is able to keep up with that speed.
They need one laser get in them and they'll all die.
I mean, that too. Sorry, we keep interrupting each other. We're both like pissed about.
Yes, to my interior designer, I would like another spike here. Another spike here.
I'm going to use lightning to make this place spooky. It reminds me.
Install a giant Tesla coil in the core of the planet so that I'm constantly surrounded by lightning.
Yes.
Because a defining trait of my character is that I shoot lightning.
Now I'm going to do the most evil thing ever. Make love to my daughter.
My granddaughter. Somehow I think that would have been less offensive than how the movie actually ends.
I would have preferred that.
And dude, put on some gold bond. Jesus Christ. You have all this shit built?
It is in your blood.
What is he, Gladys? From Portal? Hanging from the ceiling like that?
Yeah, it's Emperor Gladys. I guess he just controls a giant bionic arm. Dude, someone just pull the plug and I'll kill him. Really doing this again?
Is what I want. Kill me.
Me too. But wow, he's thinking what all of us are thinking.
They all fired it to life at once? Why?
I don't follow what's going on. Believe it or not, in this fleet of 10,000 ships, all they have to do is blow up that nav tower and they can't take off. And there's no failsafe or any sort of backup plan. Once again, the First Order / Empire / whatever the fuck has designed a giant thing with one fatal weakness. You'd think they'd learn eventually, but no. Just blow up the thing like in fucking Legend of Zelda and then it's all fixed. Just jump around, bing bing wahoo, shoot the thing, and then... Dude, one grenade.
No, it's a Rube Goldberg machine, don't you know? They have it set up so that if an explosive goes off in any hallway inside of a Star Destroyer, it just slowly destroys and trickles to exactly what you...
There's one grenade at the disabled thing. I think by this point I was like spazzing out in my chair and I was like half paying attention. I disabled the thing with one grenade. Oh my god, dude.
The time has come.
Okay, what is this, the army of Palpatine?
They got the chorus from the Phantom Menace Duel of the Fates.
All you want is for me to hate them, what?
I will.
Like your parents.
Like that hooker I banged 100 years ago. Well, I guess it must have... When would that have happened? I mean, Rey's like only, what, 20s?
Yeah.
And her parents looked like they were in their 30s or 20s when they left her. So I guess it was 50 years ago. So it was like while he was building the Death Star.
No, or like after he died, he used the Force to do space rape.
I guess that's how Anakin was born. Maybe it does conclude the Skywalker saga. I'm showing you your friends for dramatic effect, like in the old movie. Oh my god, people are actually dying? Oh my god, a fleet of 10,000 Star Destroyers are actually killing some of the protagonists?
Oh yeah, but not the important ones.
Dude, there's like 100 of them. How have they not been completely obliterated? They think I hate the protagonist more than Palpatine at this point.
When I saw the trailer for Episode 8, I remember there's a moment at the end where it's like, Luke says, it's time for the Jedi to die. Or like, it's time for the Jedi to end. And I remember being so checked out of Star Wars by then that I wanted to make a parody where instead he's like, it's time for this shitty franchise to end. And that's how I feel right now.
Dude, what is he doing?
He's going down to tell Rey. I don't know what he's doing. He has like Tourette's or something. Even though he's not looking for Rey, he just screams that out.
Rose, please, go.
Rose, please go away. That's what he's saying. I don't like how you sexually assaulted my face in the last movie. I was trying to kill myself. I've been suicidal for quite some time.
Sucks so much. Why is he here? He just loses every fight. Oh my god.
He loses to the Emperor's gay ghost guards.
The Jedi are dead!
Good. If this is what the Jedi are, I want them to die. Dude, why are they not beating the snot out of him? Why does everyone just take a break for something to happen? You know, like Vader was contemplating saving Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi, he was getting fried by freaking lightning. People just didn't pause dramatically to say, let's let them have their moment.
What?
Magic trick.
The little hand gesture. The cute little...
It's so lame.
You know what that was? That was like the Keanu hand gesture. Except it wasn't cute.
Well, it wouldn't even have had to happen if he didn't throw away his one weapon like an idiot. Because of his schizophrenic hallucinations.
Wait, now she has it again? What, did they duplicate it?
I guess that was the lightsaber she had before she took Leia's lightsaber. She had 2 lightsabers.
Oh, don't tell me they're gonna kiss.
They can't possibly do that, right, Brian? I mean, first of all, it wouldn't make any sense. Second of all, it would just be kind of dumb and unnecessary and tonally disparate. Dude, Gold Bond goes a long way.
Did he totally just steal their souls or something?
Yo, that's the power of Gold Bond right there. Wait, so all that stuff he was saying earlier about how she was supposed to kill him and take his place, is he just like improvising this now? This totally unexpected thing, or is he just omniscient? He knows everything's gonna happen.
And they're just gonna... Oh my god, this is so lame, dude.
Oh, Porkins. Remember Porkins? They're even referencing Porkins because they cannot come up with a single new idea. God, he fucking sucks. All the protagonists in this movie suck.
Yeah, I'm a loser. Sorry guys, I fucked up. 3 movies, I couldn't figure out how to do anything.
Oh, but here comes an old guy to save the day! Here comes an old guy from the old movies that you remember.
Here's that gay shot I was talking about. And they're all doing the hyperspace jump and stopping in the atmosphere.
Wow, what a mysterious secret planet that every single person with a ship knows how to get to. God. Don't you want to buy toys of these new characters without heroic they're being? Moping and crying about how bad they are at being heroes and having to be bailed out by octogenarians every 10 minutes? So did all these people just commute to Exegol? How can it be secret? This must be a workforce of like 20 million people. But it's a secret? No one knows how to get there? We have to spend the first 2 hours of the movie going on a goose chase where nothing eventful happens.
They CC'd them in the email. They were like, hey, check out these coordinates. That's where the bad guys are.
There's 20 million? You mean to say they all live here on the evil lightning planet?
No, they use light speed or whatever. Don't you understand how that works? It just allows you to travel anywhere you want.
Why is he wearing a red blazer? What is happening? He's wearing like a red kimono. This is...
Once I fell, so falls the last Skywalker.
Oh, he said the thing. Good, he's dead.
Yes.
Went in the poopy hole of light. lightning.
I like fantasizing about these characters permanently dying. Palpatine is dressed like he was just shopping at Elton John's garage sale.
Here comes another good part. Ow, no. The zappy zap hurts. Oh, no. Ow. So stupid.
I'm sorry, I zoned out. I don't even know what's going on. Is he using the lightning to kill everybody?
He's not actually killing them, he's momentarily disabling them.
Are you one of those single-tier people?
Look, she's happy to see everyone dying. I'd be happy too. Good. I hate all the protagonists. They're so weak and stupid and ineffective. They deserve this. They deserve to all be killed and have the Emperor rise again and let the Sith rule the galaxy again. They deserve it. Yo, she's listening to ASMR.
You're not alone, Rey.
Mace Windu's there too.
I've seen you.
Qui-Gon is there? Dude, what did Qui-Gon even do? She's hulking up. She's hulking up.
The Force will be with you always.
All I need was a little words of encouragement from my friends.
Let your death be the final word in the story of rebellion.
Wait, I thought he was doing the lightning thing.
And I thought that he like stole her soul anyway or whatever.
Yeah, isn't that why he's alive and walking around now?
What, did she like get it back? Did the Jedi just hand it to her because they think she's worthy now?
I am all the Sith.
And I'm all the Jedi.
She's got 2 lightsabers. She's got so much more power now. It's a done deal.
Her friends are helping her.
Oh, and his face is melting away. You can see his brain.
Oh great, he's just gonna clone himself again.
Oh no, that one.
I mean, like, clearly killing the Emperor doesn't cause him to be dead, so...
What's the difference between her killing him as all of the Jedi and killing him as herself?
Why are you so incompetent?
Oh no, Tom Hanks died.
Somehow this fleet of 10,000 ships is just no match for a couple of random ships driven by civilians.
I see him. I'm going to get him.
Oh, great, give Poe one heroic thing to do.
Not as fast as this ship.
Oh wait, he has to be undercut there too? Dude, this movie hates its protagonists. Holy shit, dude. You can't even let Poe have that? Lando rescue. Poe just sits around and does nothing, and just gets one-upped by an 80-year-old man. Man, how heroic. Don't you want to buy his toys?
I'm so lost. I'm so fucking lost, man.
Star Wars fans are
Clearly lost, man. Clearly lost. I don't even know what to say no more, man.
Oh boy. We done with this yet? Hey look, it's escaping ass.
Nope. You have to watch the best scene in the movie.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Remember how earlier
Shut up.
you thought I was trolling?
Shut up. Shut the fuck 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 up. I'm smiling because I still don't think it's gonna happen. I still think you're trolling.
He doesn't believe they would do that to us. He doesn't believe they would do
Shut the
something
fuck up.
so vile.
Shut the fuck up. 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 You're not gonna kiss a dead girl. Okay. We're good. No kisses here.
Yep, a hug. That should surely be enough to accomplish what they're trying to do with these characters. Alright, you've had your moment. Now you could just move on and cut away. Right now would be a good time to cut away. Or even right now, you can cut away. The scene can be over, you know? Maybe she died. You know, she died. You can let her be dead. You're not cutting away. You're not cutting away.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Alright. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut.
endearment, there's no cheering. People audibly groaned. This was cringe then, and now I don't even know how to describe it. But there we go, the climactic ending of the Disney Star Wars trilogy. Well, there's more, there's people celebrating and stuff, but that, suffice to say, is the taste that everyone was left with when we walked out of the theater. Audible groans from the audience then. They knew it was cringe then. This movie has an 85% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, I believe.
85?
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's good. Like, that can't be it. You mean, like, how would it get that high of a rating?
Star Wars fans want to believe that they didn't just waste 20 years of hype that all led to this.
51% from critics. Fans, 86%.
They had to do it. They couldn't resist. They couldn't have one little bit of subtlety. The one shred of dignity that the series had left. Snip. Now do you see what I see, Brian? Now do you see why I don't really get excited about anything Star Wars related anymore? They had to do it. They had, if all the other crap wasn't enough. If they hadn't done this, I might have let it slide. But this was simply egregious. There's no explanation or rationale for this. Well, let's finish it out.
Yep.
And Caesar wept because there were no more worlds left to conquer.
What, is he gonna die now? What, are they just like trade places here or something?
Yeah, he died, but
what?
Who cares?
What? No, what do you mean, who cares?
So they didn't.
The two of them fucking kiss, she has the power to heal, and then oh my god!
You did good, Maza. You did good.
What the fuck?
That's the end of the Skywalker saga. Oh, and it's sunny on the evil planet now. Just so you know that good has triumphed over evil. It's sunny.
Raise a lot. People are rising up all over the galaxy.
Gamers are rising up.
Oh yeah, at this point I was rising up out of my seat.
Hey, look, and the Ewoks. Split engines. There they are again. They still haven't ditched that design.
Don't you feel happy?
Don't you feel happy? Don't you feel joyful? Don't you feel like a big Star Wars fan?
Aren't you glad you spent your whole life being a fan of this series just to have it turn into this?
What? What was that? Like some flirtatious look?
You can have Rey kiss Kylo, which makes absolutely no sense at all, but you can't have characters with an actual romantic chemistry do anything. Oh, and Chewie finally got his medal.
Wow, that's great.
So you can get one last soy point from the pathetic millennials that this slop is made for. Oh, I can feel the hate flowing through me. Why have her be bloody at all? I mean, she just wins everything she tries for no reason. Just have her be spotless. Ah, yeah, the trio of characters who accomplished basically nothing. You have one massively overpowered character who wins everything she touches, and there's no stakes or tension that she might fail. And then the other two characters do nothing but fail, and have to have octogenarians come in and do what they're supposed to do for them. But yeah, our heroic Star Wars trio, they're still here, they're still happy. We need one more shameless crap scene to close out the trilogy. Why not do it where it all began?
I gotta look at some of these audience reviews. Somebody wrote it was entertaining at best and gave it a good review. What's the point of this?
So she can do the stupid Luke Skywalker pose from A New Hope.
Oh, really? Is
Yes.
that really what they're doing here?
Yes, I'm not even gonna be cute with this. That's what's happening because we can't have any single solitary thing from the originals not ruined by this complete travesty, train wreck, bankruptcy of imagination.
Oh, and she's just gonna bury it.
That belongs in a museum. So do you.
What's that?
PP lightsaber.
Who are you?
I'm Rey.
Rey who?
Oh, great. I'm like trying to ignore it a little bit.
They couldn't even make that subtle. You know what she's gonna say. Everyone knows it's been telegraphed the whole time. But you need to freaking have this because the audience is too stupid to understand otherwise.
Ray Skywalker.
And BB-8 is randomly here. Why? See, like, does BB-8 need to be here? Or do we need to shove more shit on the screen during this shot that's supposed to make us feel good? But it made me feel the worst I've ever felt for any movie. Ever.
How do you think J.J. Abrams feels about this?
Well, he probably thinks it's a piece of shit. Well, he did what he could in 18 months, I guess.
You want to hear something funny? I was struggling to remember what they called them, but the twin sons in Star Wars, they're called Tattoo 1 and Tattoo 2. I knew it was something really dumb, but I couldn't remember.
Another Wikipedia certified classic.
Yeah. There's tons of useless facts, like the planet which R2-D2 and all astromech droids are developed on, never touched on in the lore, but it's named in the same way that Kuat is named, but technically we have seen stuff on Kuat. If you remember the episode, it's not an episode, it's Rogue One. Remember the scene where they're on that one planet at the way end of the movie, the manufacturing planet? That was Kuat. Rogue One is actually good. It's the only good movie that Star Wars has gotten out of Disney.
Oh, they credited Alec Guinness for Obi-Wan, meaning they had to have deepfaked his voice.
Oh, you know how much Alec Guinness hated Star Wars?
Honestly, I'm closer to him now than I was before I watched this movie originally.
He didn't even like it when it came out.
Yeah, I think I heard that where he said it was just like a bunch of crap.
He said it was crap. The reason that he hated Star Wars so much was because it became the only thing he was recognized for. He would go out in public and people would see him and go, "Whoa, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi!" He'd been in all of these other roles. That was so disappointing for him. It got to a point where a kid asked him to sign, maybe it was like a t-shirt or like a toy or something like that, but some kid wanted something signed by him, and he said, "Oh yes, absolutely, but only if you promise to never watch that damn movie again."
He saw the future. He saw what it would become back then. We should have listened.
The demise of the franchise like this was probably just inevitable. There's no way to continue this Star Wars, Marvel, or just any shtick indefinitely. It's all eventually going to fall apart, and that's just the sad reality. If you seek to continue it, and you continue to have the story develop on itself, eventually there's this. Can you think of a single product that has continued on for as long as something like Star Wars and hasn't turned to shit? I mean, the only thing that I can think of that comes close is a television show, and it's The Simpsons. It's a disaster now. Every once in a while there's episodes that come out that people say are pretty good. The series is never going to be able to match season 6.
Well, with The Simpsons, the archetype of The Simpsons is dated now.
Right.
They're supposed to be a struggling middle-class family, and there are attributes about that are lost in translation in our modern world. Sure, you still have the same characters, but stuff like their house and what they do and general character traits that was part of the 90s zeitgeist. People like Homer, Marge, Bart, they don't really exist in our contemporary times, at least how they're designed as core characters. I mean, you can give Bart an iPhone and make him floss, but in order to adapt them to the modern age, you lose the soul of what it was originally. Even the ontology of what the characters actually are. And it's funny you bring that up because I don't know at this point if Star Wars was meant for today. I think the original movies, wasn't the original Star Wars based on like the grand westerns and the samurai movies of the 60s? Movies were different back then. So much complexity has been put into modern filmmaking. The original story of Star Wars was simple. The simplicity creates a level of inflexibility where you can't really work the world into a lot of modern sensibilities. It's a little bit rigid, it's a little bit dated, and the more you try to put our modern standards of everything into Star Wars, something that was made as this grand homage to the samurai and Western movies of the 60s, it starts to fall apart. Much like with The Simpsons, you wind up with something that is unrecognizable. I've got to have the Chinese credits.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, China, for making this experience possible.
What you were just saying is an interesting take. I mentioned earlier the myth. It's not just the references and how much George had loved old westerns, old sci-fi. It's also just how, when you were saying that simplistic story, a lot of that comes from the hero's journey.
Yeah, it's like Camelot, right?
Yeah, it's tied to old myth and a lot of intriguing old concepts that now just can't be explored because they're too simplistic for modern audiences. The way they janked up the formula was by making everything so complex that it no longer has any basis in reality anymore.
Here's the problem. It is simultaneously complex, convoluted.
What's the difference between sleep, hibernate, and shutdown options on your computer, and which one should you choose depending on your situation? So let me start saying that these three options are all the power saving options. They are like power saving state for your computer, either desktop or laptop, and it's not like one